Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Cheers. Hello. Hi. You can call me the auntie that's full of surprises. Hi guys. Hello. I'm starting to, I've always liked random lives. I do sometimes have issues with these planned things. I think I have commitment issues. Hi. Hello. Thank you. Yes, full of surprises, auntie. I like that one. Yeah. How are you guys doing? I actually am curious what people do on a Saturday. What are you doing on a Saturday? Are you out there, out and about? Are you home? I'm home because I'm always home on a weekend, usually. Okay, always is a long time, but usually I'm home. Thank you. So today I'm just as at home as usual, but my son has friends over, so I am busy. I'm not really babysitting because they're quite grown, but obviously I have to make sure that they're happy. Or home alone having coffee, somebody's working, chilling at home. I like it. I never know what people do on a Saturday. I remember there was a time when I used to, a hike. Wow. What? 13 kilometers turned into what? Okay, pop your questions in the question box, okay? So if you want me to answer a question, please pop it in the question box. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good. I might even be nice. I won't be cheeky today. But I can't promise. Yeah, so I'm at home. I mean, just chilling actually, and then making sure that my son and his friends are well looked after. My son is such a social being. His social life keeps me busy, but it's wonderful to have people. To have him have his friends over, because then he's happier. He doesn't demand too much from me. But he's grown up now. He no longer demands much from me. He ignores me most of the day unless he wants something. In fact, they all come and hug me big time when it's time to go to sleep. I'm like, no, you had the whole day to hug me and climb all over me. You didn't do it. Now it's time to go to bed, and you want to all be lovey. My books are at amandadambuza.com. Buy the books at amandadambuza.com. Cash, no. I'm very good, thank you. How am I? I'm really good, thank you. The mentors table. I'm fabulous. I'm feeling much better. I mean, the last couple of weeks were quite tough, because I was my mom-in-law wasn't well, and I mean, she's 83 years old, so someone who gets sick at that age is not nice. But fortunately, she was here in Joburg visiting, us, or her kids. So when she came to us, I was quite happy to look after her for a while, and it was serious. But she's just a miracle lady. She's a miracle lady. She's perfectly fine now. She actually left today. She flew out today to go visit his sister and her other children in PE, so in Gqeberha. So yeah, I'm very happy. She's amazing. What do I do in my solo time? So if this is a real question, put it in the question comment thing, a question box, okay, and then I'll answer it. But I said I'm gonna be nice today, so let me answer it, even if it's not in the question box. But that's the only question I'm gonna answer that's not in the question box. My time alone, I do nothing. Sometimes I just sit and stare into space. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, I sit and I read. No, I don't. I just don't. I only read when I feel like reading. I'm not a person that's going to be like, oh, I have 5 books to get through. What's that thing that you people like to do? My read for the month, and then you show us a pile of books that you never even touch. We know you. It looks good on Instagram. But yeah, please put your questions in the question box, or actually, I think that's something I should write and then pin it. Wait, I need to figure out how to do that. Okay, give me a moment. Questions in the question box. Yeah, no, I know your habit, you people. You want to look cute like you are readers. All right, and then how do I pin this? Okay. Questions in the question box, please. And then I'm gonna pin it. How do I pin it? Don't I just touch it and something happens? Oh well. Okay, I don't know what to do there. But anyway, let's come back. So yeah, I think that I just sit, like I do nothing. I literally just vegetate, or sometimes then I'll watch sport. I love watching sport. And then I'll cook, you know, or just do nothing, you know. I don't put, when I'm having my alone time, I don't put myself under pressure to do anything. Like, no, I just sit and do nothing. Yeah, so, but I'm good. It's that question mark thing where you put the questions. It's at the bottom right, I think so. I did hold it and it just didn't give me the option to pin, but anyway, okay, that's all good. You love my dancing clips. Thank you very much. No, and I, you know, it's quite interesting, because this thing about dancing is I don't think it's supposed to be as deep and as exciting as it is. It may be exciting because it's dancing, but I think that people react to it so much because, by the way, more and more people are dancing now publicly. So, and I'm not in any way or shape or form saying I'm the one that made them do it, but more and more people are telling me that they're doing it because, you know what, I've kind of like allowed the space to be ridiculous and show another side of you. But I think that we get so caught up in being prim and proper and try portraying a side that is, it's ridiculous that we must only portray a certain side of us. But I'm not one side. I'm not the job. So even on the job, I can be serious. When the job is getting done, the job is getting done. But I can also have fun in the same vein, you know. And I just think this idea that women must be these creatures that have to be prim and proper to appease and please others, it's just ridiculous, you know. The more we actually showcase that you can be what you want, you can do what you want, you are a whole being. It's amazing that actually people have such a wonderful reaction to dancing. And when I say wonderful, I'm trying to find the right word, because how many times do you all post yourselves hiking and post yourselves cycling, post yourselves running, post yourselves doing weird things at the gym? Somehow, when people are posting themselves dancing, it's like something revolutionary. It's not actually. Yeah, so it won't, but it's not revolutionary. But in any event, I think I'm just gonna. I don't like doing, like, admin is too much for me, so I'm just gonna leave this pinning thing. So yeah, I just think that, you know, it's I wish I could say to you, oh, you know, I dance. That's just what I do. But I've been posting it for years, by the way. It's not the first time that it's not like a recent thing. I've been doing it for quite a while. I remember the one time one of my in-laws, who shall remain nameless, told my husband that me posting myself, that's probably about 5 or 7 years ago. If posting myself dancing is not dignified. She went to it, one of my husband's sisters went to tell him that. I said to him, tell her to come and say it to me. She never did. In any event, my husband and I met together. We were dancing together when we were dating. So it's not like suddenly now I'm going to stop dancing because I'm someone's wife. I shame. We would have to question... we would have to put to question some things if somebody suddenly tells me what to do, which he would never. He's not that person. He takes me and appreciates me exactly as I am. So yeah. Hey guys, I can be strut. I can be strut. But this is what I always say, is that it's very interesting that it's women who are often the ones trying to hold up a status quo that's just rubbish, you know. It's women who often tell other women that, oh my gosh, a woman isn't supposed to act like that. A girl must act like this. You know, I don't think there's a guy who has the kahunas to actually tell a woman what to do. But I'm pretty sure they're out there. I'm just, you know, making a point. But I just think it's more than anything else. It's women that are the ones that are gatekeepers to some world that we never actually signed up for. So now I can... You must come say if you want to say something to me, say it. Come say to me, not to somebody else. I'm not... That's not, even if my husband was my parent, it wouldn't even move me. I'd be like, come and say it to my face. And by the way, people will never do that. They'd rather go, you know, behind and talk about you or say things about you. I'm like, I was vigorously offended. And I blocked her. I was like, for that, block. If you don't have respect for me, I have no respect for you. Anyway, we get along fine, but let's just say sometimes they also try their, you know, they test the waters, but I did block her. I'm having verve, guys, and a beautiful verve flute. I started buying these little bottles. This is like a 350. Hey, what's a 375? I mean, it's a 375 because a big bottle is hard to finish these days. I know. I think it's such a waste to have a bottle of champagne and then you don't finish it, and then it stays the next day, but it just doesn't taste the same for me. I can be straight. Yes, I can. I know the glasses from Verve are amazing, and I'm usually I'm usually first in line to get some beautiful merchandise. So this is beautiful. It's very sexy, by the way. So yeah, that's I don't know how I got to that story about blocking my in-law, but hey, you gotta stand your ground, because you know some people think somehow you are I don't know. I have no idea what they think you are or who they think you are. I'm like, yo, don't you dare try me. My strutmateness is hidden in decorum, but don't think it doesn't exist. It exists. It exists. And I know how to unleash it. Anyway, I just don't like being I just don't like being disrespected or treated like I'm a child or an object, you know. Because I married your brother doesn't mean you have rights over me. My mom-in-law doesn't even treat me like that, you know. So anyway, I'm so happy she's fine now. She had a really bad cough. She had a really bad cold, flu, COVID type situation. So, but it was my pleasure to look after her. Hey, we just want the boy tonight, then we end up with everything else. like really all I was after is the boy. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, listen, I have a good thing going with my in-laws, but like in any family, there's always you know, you do find those who tata my chance. Tata my chance. So yeah, no, I have an incredible mom-in-law, and I just think that she's a gift. In fact, my mom-in-law is the first parent who ever told me she loves me. The words "I love you" came from my mom-in-law. Like, and forget the words, you know, someone that you can feel incredible, like really cares for you. So I hold her very dear in my heart, and it's interesting. The one time a couple of years ago, I posted something about my mom-in-law. It was a bit of an honor for, you know, I was saying how wonderful she's been to me. It's a couple of years ago now. Hey, somebody, because you people of the internet, do you think you have rights to just say whatever you want to people? Somebody said to me, how dare I disrespect my mother? I'm like, hey, Betuna, you have issues. I was like, yo, seriously? No, you don't just have issues, you have serious issues. I'm like, how does honoring one person who has done amazing things for you take away from another person? I'm like, and like I said nothing about my mother in that post, but this person was like, how can I disrespect my own mother like that? That time I did not even mention my mother, and the caption was about, you know, how wonderful my mom-in-law is. I was just like, "Ay, when now we are you're sick, go see somebody." Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm good, and I'm in a greater space now that she's better. I'm feeling good. I'm in my financial. This is our financial year end in my business, so also things are a bit hectic there. This is officially our 9th financial year, so my business is 9 years old, and yeah, it's been good. It's been good. We keep hustling. We keep at it. we keep going. We keep going, guys. And in business, you never stop. You know, you dust yourself up from a disappointment, and you take a moment to celebrate the wins, and you just keep going. You know, you keep going. Okay, so let's get on with your questions. Let's see what's happening. There's a lot of them. Can you please invite me for lunch one day? You're my inspiration. Love you so much. Thank you, Mandisa, but I don't really invite people for lunch. No, it's not something I do. Randomly, once in a while, I'll host a little something, but you know, that's why I created these events where people can come and we can hang out and, you know, unpack our lives. But I typically don't do lunches. So, and maybe I should take that back and say I do lunches sometimes with people I know, or for a reason. Yeah. I said I'd be nice today, so I'm trying to make sure I will poke shame. But thank you so much for such kind words, and I don't want to sound, like I don't want to meet you or anything, but I engage with people a lot, so sometimes I really just don't want to. So try and get a ticket to one of my events. Well, my main event being the November event, which is overly subscribed, like 10 times subscribed. And I have a huge number. So I've started with the planning for that. So I'm busy talking to venues now, looking at the right venue. So if you have your ticket, if you bought your ticket, keep your order number. And I've already been communicating with the ones who have tickets. So I look forward to that. This is the third year now. It's incredible. Okay, let me get through the questions. This question from Dube Barrow says, what kept you going during the start phases of your business or businesses? I guess it matters why you are in business. And this is, one of the reasons one of the things I always advise when you are going to start a business is why do you want to start that business? Because a lot of people just jump into business because, they want to be seen to have a business. But are you an entrepreneur? Are you a business person? What problem are you trying to solve? So first and foremost, what problem are you trying to solve? So if you know what problem you're trying to solve, even in those times when you're feeling like my sound is fine, I didn't touch it. Are you the only one with sound problems? Yeah, okay. Let me know if you have sound problems. But yeah, so what I'm saying is that when you know why you started the business, that sustains you during those tough times. So you must just be clear about why you're starting a business. And I see a lot of people who start businesses because other people are making money in those businesses, and then they think they're going to start the same business and make money. But the truth is that it doesn't work like that. You must find your reason for going into business, and that will sustain you even during those tough times. So for me, the reason I went into business sustained me even when, not just in the start, because tough times in business don't only come in the beginning. Every business goes through its different life stages. And sometimes you have a tough time later on in your business. There's always a challenge in business, and I think that's the thing is that there's always a challenge, and I guess that's why it's also quite exciting to be in business, because you're not going to have, days are not going to be the same. I guess pretty much like life, but pretty much like in your own job, when you're in your corporate career. Not every day you are shooting the lights out. There are times when you're maybe going through a bit of a slump, or, you're bored or something. So even in business, even when you get bored with your business, which is something that happens when your business has matured, it's what got you to start it to begin with that keeps you going. And I must say that, I hear this thing about find a passion and then turn it into money, or monetize your passion. 100% agreed. But I also think that you must be trying to solve a problem through that passion, because someone is not just going to buy your passion. They're buying a solution from you. So the passion part, of course, has to be there. It's what I tell my kids: find something you love, but and monetize that. But above everything, what that will do is create a income for you. Yes, but what's going to make people keep coming to you is you solving a problem. What is that problem that you're trying to solve? And I'm not talking about solving a problem for making getting money for yourself or income for yourself. I'm talking about what is it about them that what do they go through every day that you are trying to solve for them. So yeah, I hope that helps. My lipstick color is called Fighter. It's a Maybelline stick. Stay ink. Maybelline Stay Ink Fighter. I'm happy to mention them here because they send me stuff. They've sent me many things before. But this one I actually got from, you know that Juanita Kumalo. Juanita Kumalo does these wellness events. She did one in July. It wasn't July. When was it? March, I think, which was really nice. The goodie bag from that thing. I don't care for free stuff because I mean I don't need any more than I already have. But that goodie bag was some serious business. In fact, her next event is in September. So get yourself there. It's called Trove Wellness. So I got this color actually in a goodie bag from Trove Wellness. But it's a Maybelline ink stay, and it's the color is Fighter. Shu says, how do I know when I make a bold decision that it is the right decision? You'll just know. You'll just know. No one can tell you whether a decision is the right one or not, except yourself, I think that the reason why people are afraid to make decisions or doubt their decisions is because they're afraid of the consequences of the decision. But remember, that's the whole point of owning your life and being accountable to yourself. It's at this point in time, with all the information I have, I am making the right decision. Not every decision you make yields the desired outcome or the desired result. And I personally don't have regrets because I mean this question you've asked me is very linked to regrets. I don't have regrets because first of all, I just think it's a wasted emotion because you can't go back and change something, but you can learn and do things differently next time. But I don't have regrets because I believe that when I make the decision at that point in time, it's the right decision. Because I have everything, whatever information I have at my hand in that moment that I'm making a decision is all the information I have at hand. And I just have to trust that what I'm doing, the decision I'm making is the right decision. But only if it's the right decision or not once you've made the decision, So, and I think you should never underestimate your intuition because when you. I mean, I'll give you an example. A couple of months ago, I hired somebody. I knew immediately that I had made a mistake, and let's just say I got myself out of the mistake, but it was not pleasant to get myself out of that mistake. So sometimes you make the right decisions maybe for the wrong reasons, So I wanted to give this guy a chance. But and in all honesty, I was also a bit desperate for someone to actually run a project that I had landed with a new client. So but when you're making there's something in there, that small voice that tells you that, this might not work out well. This is not the right decision. So you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you, with the information you have at hand, you are making the right decision. And decisions can be changed. So I don't think you should think you are married to a decision. Yeah, when you've made it, that's gone. But the point is that when you're at a point of making another decision or a similar decision or the same decision, you now have a whole lot more information at hand, because now you've tried that decision before, whether it worked or didn't work, you can then fine tune your decision making process in the future. But there is an art and a bit of a science to decision making. But you have to trust that at the moment you are making the right decision. But only you know if you have considered everything available to you to make that decision. And go for it. Beach or bush holiday? Both, honey, both. Why must I choose? To start and manage a business, do you think you need a qualification for that? I don't have a business qualification, and I don't know many people who have business qualifications who start businesses or run businesses. So I don't think so. I don't think it's a prerequisite. I do think that you need to know what you're talking about. You need to know, like I started a project management business because I am a project manager by profession. So, but my training as a project manager came after I studied social sciences at varsity. So, I believe that you have to know what your business is about. Most importantly, the other things you can learn, the basics of business. You can learn cash flow management. You can learn balance sheet management. You can learn, but I think most importantly, you have got to know what you are talking about. You have got to understand the business, itself, and yeah, this. I was talking to I was invited to go speak at Gibbs, and Gibbs is a business school for those who don't know. It's part of University of Pretoria, and I was talking to to MBA students who are doing the entrepreneurship module, and I remember when the professor called me, I said to Prof, I said, maybe you convinced me to do the MBA. And he said to me, Amanda, you don't need the MBA. You've already lived through the part that we are unable to offer our students, which is the practical part of actually running businesses. And hence, they had invited me to come and talk to those students. So it's not... In fact, even in jobs, I don't think that qualifications matter as much as experience and skills. Yeah, probably there are jobs that are quite specific about, having a qualification. I can't imagine someone becoming a pilot without being trained to be a pilot. Oh, Jesus. They would have no business. So I think I think I've spent enough time in that. Hello. Vinci says, when do you plan to actually retire and enjoy life without doing any more work? Is that even a thing? Is the question about me or about yourself? Because I can't see why you care about me. So, what's it to you when I retire? You see, guys, this is a trap because you laughing before I even say anything. You know how this is going to go. No, I mean, for real, let me try and understand. Is the question about me or about you? Or the decision to get to when you retire? Or so maybe just ask the question differently, and then I can try and answer it. I mean, my decisions around when I retire and how I get to those decisions, I don't think are necessarily going to help you, because we are in, yes, I'm being nice today. So because we're different, I mean, I don't know where you come from. I don't know what you do. I don't know what your life stage is at, but I believe that we should enjoy our lives whilst we are young, whatever that enjoyment is for you. And again, retiring is a very different conversation from one person to another, because what does retiring mean, you know? So maybe if you ask the question, I I also think it's about me, but let me not make assumptions. Hey Bella, listen, I also have the scammers that scam people, Bitcoin, crypto, whatever. I'm not in it, you know, this is a standard disclaimer. The people that scam others are people that follow me here. There are people who are listening here. And some of these questions, you're like, hey, what kind of question is that? Why are you asking me? Because they're trying to craft their story when they tell the people that they're trying to scam. So no, some questions I think are weird, because I don't understand why you would ask a question like that. So, but I am being nice today, so I'll allow an opportunity to maybe ask the question again, and then I see how I can help, okay? Okay, so I already answered this question. Let's get another one. Nempok says, if you are to be a teacher for one day, what topic would you teach a class of 40-year-olds? I think I've been teaching a lot. What do you think I've been doing these mentorship sessions for? Yo, that's like a whole lot of learning and teaching. I don't really know what I would teach 40-year-olds, because at 40 I think you should have taught yourself a lot of things about life. Wait, what I mean is, at 40 life would have taught you a lot of things with or without your permission or desire. So at 40 I think you should be teaching others, you know. I'm 44, so I probably have no business teaching anyone at 40. But the assumption that everyone who's 40 has figured themselves out is also incorrect. So I've never really teaching, yeah, it comes in different shapes and forms. It's yeah, by the time you get to 40 you have been so moved by life. You're like, yo. And so Tandega, I'm gonna block you, Shem. So anyway, I just think that the topic that I would probably go with is what I'm really passionate about now, which I think I currently teach anyway, is about self-mastery, the ability to master yourself, the ability to understand that, you know, every single answer you're looking for is within you. But, you know, when I'm talking about 40, I'm thinking that, you know, that's already you should already kind of have figured that out by 40, because if you think of life stages, 20s, you kind of like, you don't even know who you are. 30s, you kind of like starting to settle into this idea of self, but you're still building and building and building. 40s, I guess the expectation is that you are starting to consolidate all of those life experiences. But again, I don't like to talk about ages and what happens at what age, because people have different paths and different journeys. Someone who's 40 might have had such a tough, you know, such tough 20s and 30s that they're only starting to build in their 40s. There are people in their 30s who have had such huge life experiences that, you know, they already are consolidating. You know, so there is no, I would say that what I would teach any age, as I currently do, is about self-mastery. And that is something I'm really passionate about. I also think it's the difference. It really is the difference, because you can see a person who has not yet mastered themselves. To them, everything happens to them. Everything is about, you know, that kind of like victim mentality. and you can tell somebody who has mastered themselves, who understands the role they play in the universe. And yeah, so I'm quite passionate about that. That's something that I'd probably really continue to share on. But I also don't like to refer to myself as a teacher. So that's why when someone says, when you ask me what would I teach if I had to be a teacher, because I think I have a mind block when we start talking about me being a teacher. I see myself as more as a person that shares my experiences, shares, you know, the knowledge I've amassed over a long lifetime, and also the things that I've learned over the course of my life. So I like to share. It's actually one of the reasons I did not become a coach. I am a mentor. Even, I mean, I do paid for mentorship. You people just eat for free. You're just chowing my mentorship for free. You're lucky. But I mean, I get paid to do mentorship, you know, by corporates, and you know, when I was training, I did a coaching course through UCT, and it was, in fact, it was customized for us when I was still at the bank, and I did that training course, and when I was on the path to certification, I had to choose if I wanted to be certified as a coach, and I decided no, I don't want to be, because I think the single biggest difference between being a coach and a mentor is that as a mentor, I can share my life experiences with you. I can tell you, this is what I went through, and this is what how I conquered that, or this is how I've managed to you know, deal with my challenges. I can share my life experiences. Whereas as a coach, it's completely not about you. It's about the person you are coaching. And I like the fact that as a mentor, I don't have to follow through with you. I don't have to, of course, when I'm getting paid, it's a slightly different conversation. But, you know, as a mentor, I'll give you the advice, I'll guide you, but it's completely up to you to go and apply it. And I just feel like I'm better suited to sharing my own experiences, my own personal experiences, and help people by sharing how I've you know, how I've done it. Thank you, Emma, for praying for me as per my request. Thank you. That's a good one. It's a good comeback. You cheapie. I hope you pray for more than 30 seconds. So yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, that's what I do share, and self-mastery would definitely be something I continue with. But I think I'd suck as a teacher, you know. I don't think I have the patience of a teacher to be a teacher. This question says, are you and Carol still friends? Miss you guys. Yes, we're still friends, Carol and I. But you see, one of the things that I've done, maybe some people missed that. I unfollowed all my friends. Yeah, okay, I still have Mpumi that I follow, but you know, Mpumi's work is online, you know. So, but I unfollowed my friends because I wanted to have meaningful relationships off social media. Also, I think just even this question, you know, for me, and by the way, you're not the only one that has asked me about my friendships. I've decided that I'm not gonna put my friendships on some social media pedestal anymore. I decided that last year already. Yeah, and I decided that I want to have, you know, if you have my number, call me. You know, let's get together. Let's not show off to people how friendly we are by posting our photos together, liking and commenting. That's not, that fools you into thinking you have, you know, you're connecting with people when you're not. So a lot of my friends I don't follow. I unfollowed them. So because I really just, in fact, I unfollowed my friends and I've been able to really connect even more and more with them outside of of social media. And you know, even with my friendship with Mbumi, who's a cutie, we do so much together you know, and we don't post it. And what I said to her was, I want to protect our friendship because, you know, we can't even, like, if I don't comment on your status, or you don't comment on mine, then there's something wrong. Or if I didn't like your picture, then there's something wrong. So I just think that, you know, the world of social media puts a lot of pressure on friendships. And also, I mean, I think for a long time, I was part of it, where we constantly display, you know, our friendships, and somehow we think we are being friendly because we've posted a picture about each other, or, you know, or we've liked it, or we've contested it, you know. Yeah, so I just decided not to, and by the way, friendships evolve. So friendships go through different stages, and I'm a person that has, I'll have different kinds of friendships and different kinds of people. I mean, I've got friendships where I've been friends with people for over 20 years, and I don't see them every day. We don't talk every day. I don't post them. They don't come to my house every day. I don't go to theirs, you know. So, but doesn't mean we're not friends, you know. And I think that the challenge that we have in society is this expectation that once a friend, always a friend. And that, you know, the fact that I've said nothing about our friendship, you know, guys. I told you I got guests. You know, once you it's almost I've felt that, and it's possible that I'm also maturing with time. Finally, eventually, you're growing up. But you know, I just feel that I just want, you know, real friendships. I want real connections, and I don't want friendships that are about scoreboards or scorecards, you know. It's exactly what I say about my husband and my family. I'm like, I don't have to post my husband for you to know I'm happily married, you know. So I don't have to post my friends for you to know that I have good friendships, and you know, it's something that, yes, other people don't necessarily, you know, some friends maybe don't take kindly to that you've unfollowed them. But I'm like, hello, I'm also trying to sift through who are the real friends. Because social media can fool you into thinking you have friends when you don't have them, you know, or that someone is your real friend when they're actually not. And you posting hearts on my posts is not friendship. It's, you know, let's test it outside the gram, you know. Yeah, and I really think that we have to, I mean, people must do what they want. You know, if you want to drag your husband all over social media, then, you know, okay, do that. If you want to drag your friends all over social media, do that. But I just got to a point where some people just want to be your friend, to be seen with you, which elevates their own social status. But I'm not really about that. I don't really care for that. I care for the work you do. I care for the heart you have. I care for, you know, what you mean to me, how I feel when I'm with you, how I feel when I'm walking away from you. Those are things I care about. So in fact, I've ended up connecting more with my friends since I unfollowed them on social media, because now you realize that, oh, actually, the fact that I commented on your status, on your post, does not mean that we are connecting and that we are engaging as friends. It simply means we're doing social media. So I want to call you, and I also think I got tired of seeing things on social media without a friend telling me about them, or them seeing my stuff on social media without me telling them about it. Yeah, it's impossible to tell every friend, but you know, there are people that that you want to tell things too, you know. So I want my friend to tell me about something that they're excited about, you know, or something they're having a challenge with. So yeah, I've been seeing my friends a lot, and I'm not posting it, you know. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I think this was the question about friendships. Please put your questions in the question box, okay? Let's see. Pearl Micaiah says, I know it is a big ask. Do you see yourself hosting an event in Durban? It's not really a big ask. It's just that, and by the way, I have a standing invite and plan to host an event in Durban. I just haven't done it yet, because one of the other things is that the Vastly Sage Uplifting branch is to me, and the intent that I have with it is to have it become a destination event. So I want you to put it in your calendar. I want you to buy your best outfit. I want you to book that flight and book that holiday and do something for yourself, you know. So this is why I host it where I host it. And I have people who absolutely love the fact that they will leave. I mean, last year we had people come from Tanzania, Germany, and I'm pretty sure this year it will be more and more since people can travel. And I mean, you people look good when you come to my event, man. You look amazing. And I can tell that you feel good because you're doing something for yourself. So if I have to do it in Durban, then I have to do it in Cape Town, then I have to do it in PE, then I have to do it, and it just takes away the whole point of the event. So yes, I want to reach people. I want to be reachable to people. I'll probably do something else, but not the event itself, because I really want it to be a destination event. I want you to save money for it for next year. I want you to put it in your diary. I want you to crash my site as you did this year. So I just want it to remain that. I want it to be a top-class event that you come to, you have a certain experience, and it's growing. Is it lips and bounds? Yo, I almost said lips and frogs. Lips and bounds. Okay. Okay, I'm just navigating to the next question. What motivated me to go into business? I wanted to own my time, and I wanted to create jobs, and I had access to people who needed jobs, and I had access to people who were buying jobs. So I wanted to marry the two, and I wanted to bring it through a profession that I had, you know, I mastered over the years, which was project management. And obviously I was within technology, so I also do technology. And I say do technology, we are within technology. That's the reason. But I recommend you buy my book, Baked in Pain, at amandatambuza.com, because I say more there. Okay, I think I've kind of answered this. Do you keep it close? Okay, Machena says, do you keep a close circle? Sorry, I'm becoming dyslexic now. Do you keep a circle of friends close to you, and how do you maintain those friendships? Yeah, I do have friends. I have friends that matter. I'm not a person that gets hung up on friendships. So I have great friends. I have friends that I'm there when they need me, they're there when I need them. But, you know, as I said, friendships evolve. You know, I don't always talk all the time with my friends, but I know they're there. I know they love me. Sometimes it's just a quick call to say, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? But also I just think it's knowing that somebody out there is rooting for you, and they know you, they know your story. And that, you know, when you're together, you build each other up. I also move on very quickly from friendships, because if it no longer serves, then I think let's move on. And I think people get so hung up on the endings of friendships. I remember I actually sent this message. I delivered it in a text format, but it was a message I wrote, because I write well. Honey. So I said to this friend of mine, you know, I honor our friendship, and that, you know, our friendship had kind of like fizzled out. And I said, you know, the thing is that people get so caught up in the ending of the friendship, they forget, you know, that friends come into your life for that cycle, in that cycle of your life. And some will stay, some will go, some you let go of. And that's okay. You know, I think we need to make it okay that, you know, when it's no longer what it was meant to be. And like I said, things evolve, you know, friendships evolve. Sometimes you're just hooked up by a purpose, and maybe that purpose shifts, you know. And maybe, you know, you felt the wrong energy. I mean, again, if I feel the wrong energy, I'm out. Like, I'm an energy person, so the minute the energy is not right, I kind of like go back into my shell, because it's a lot for me to go out there and, you know, open myself up and be close to people. That it takes a lot for me to do that. So when I've done it, and then I see that, hey, no, I run back like a tortoise, you know, that thing, that head goes into the shell. I'm like, yo. So it's okay to let friendships go when they've expired. The problem is that, and you'll see, I mean, I say this because some things you'll see come with life stages. There's a time when, I mean, I can imagine how in your 20s, friendships are so important, because, I mean, what are you doing with your life? You are probably studying, or you've just started a job, and you're always out, you're looking for a good time, you know. And then you get to a point where in your 30s, you are having children, you are maybe married, or you have a partner, or you have a business, so you're busy, you know, like you're busy. You're no longer just thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I need to fill up my time. No, you are busy. In fact, it takes time. You have to make time and find time to be with your friends. And then you get to like your 40s, where if you have two good friends, you are good, because life just evolves. You have hobbies, you enjoy being by yourself, you know, and it's one of the things that I can tell you, that I do get impatient with people, and I don't do well in group settings. I don't do well. I think I'm such a pain. You know, I'm just like, I am a pain. When there's like a group of women, or a group of things, anything that's a group just freaks me out. So as a result, I find everything people say a bit like, I don't want to be here. So I'm that person that can't pretend. I mean, I think by now you know this. I can't pretend to be happy when I'm not happy. So I'm a person that will leave events early. I'll say no more often than not, because I'm also just trying to preserve myself. You know, self-preservation becomes the thing, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. When you know that certain settings are not your settings. I do very well one-on-one. So, you know, a friend wants to have lunch or dinner, preferably breakfast or lunch, because dinners, they exhaust me. But, you know, I've got friends where the only thing we can do is dinner, and I absolutely love it. I enjoy it because the conversation is wholesome, you know. But it's okay to appreciate that friendships change, things change, you change. So if you change, how can you not change the people around you? If you have changed, how can you not change the people around you? It's expected that you should. You are lucky if those people around you continue to contribute towards your growth. And remember, we're no longer at an age where we just, let me say, speak for myself. I'm not at an age where I just want to fill time. My time is incredibly precious. My time costs money. Like, I can tell you the value of my time. Forget money. I can tell you the value of my time. I can tell you what happens what happens when I take an hour, 2 hours of my time and go spend it with somebody else. I can tell you what I'm giving up. So for me, if I'm going to give up time with my family or time with myself and go spend it with you, there must be something really grand about this engagement, and it doesn't mean I'm always doing things with my family or my kids. No, sometimes I do things by myself, because I'm okay being by myself. And I think that there's a I hope that we all work to get to a point where we are okay being by ourselves, and that we are okay not needing group validation and group mentality, and everything must be about groups and things. Guys, we are grown up, please. Okay, I think I've said enough about that, right? You are special. That's why I'm spending time with you guys. Ngateko says, hi Amanda, please share your tips for maintaining a work-life balance. I just think that I don't ever think of my life as I need to maintain a work-life balance. I really don't. When you have to be clear about what your priorities are. This is again the thing where I'm saying, when your life has evolved, you have to understand what your priorities are. You can't, let's just say, I don't understand people who have families that then constantly are out there, constantly out there. I'm not saying don't go out, but like if you're constantly out there and leaving your family at home, who is raising your kids? Who's looking after your family? It's 100% okay to be out because we all need a break. But I'm just saying that when you're constantly out there doing other things, it just seems like maybe you need to be clear about what the priorities are. And granted, maybe the priority for you at that point is to be out there, but what is it about, being out there? What does it bring for you, And so for me, my life is about priorities and buckets, because there are buckets that should never be empty. And I don't talk about work-life balance because I don't think we should even be thinking about that. I think what we should be thinking about is that when I'm with my family, I'm with my family. When I'm working, I'm working. And my family knows I'm a working mom. So when mom needs to work, mom needs to work. But you can't be, when it's time to be with the family, and then you're busy, or time to feed your cat, whatever, whatever rocks your boat, whatever your life is about. When it's your personal time, and then you're busy working in your personal time, you're never gonna have a balanced view of life, because you are still in your personal time and giving it to a job that only pays you for 8 hours. So it's about being present in the moment that you are in. It's not about, it's not about, I have this balance. No, I don't have for me, a balance is not even a conversation in my life. Yes, there was a time when I used to work a corporate job, and I worked 13 hours a day. I didn't know any better then. I can assure you, if I was put back in a corporate job now, I'll be a very different person in terms of how I manage my work and the hours I put in. And one of the lessons I took out of that is you are stealing from yourself. If you feel like you're working more than you're having your personal life, you are stealing from yourself. I can assure you that. So you have to be clear about, what are your priorities in life. And I want my kids to know mom works, because all this soft life does not just happen by itself, And I want them to be okay with the fact that it's not just daddy that works, mama also works, and mama brings home the bacon and she fries it, I tell you, So if you feel like there's a wobbliness in your life, fix it, because it exists. If you feel it, then it exists. So I don't think about things like work-life balance. I think about, in the moment, what am I doing? So if you are at work, if you are on a vacation, or let's forget vacation, you come home, it's time for you to cook. It's time for you, and I say cook, it could be you cooking or your partner cooking, but it's time for you to actually start nurturing your family, or you're nurturing yourself, or instead, you know what you do. You get home, you put your things down, you start maybe preparing supper, and then you open the laptop. So whilst you're busy frying the onion, you're busy also with the laptop. You know how people cook, eat, and work at the same time? Just look at your laptop. Look at how much crumbs and stuff is on your laptop. Then you know. So be present in the moment. I don't think that our children will ever complain about you not spending time with them if when you are with them, you are with them. But if you are with them and then also still be responding to emails, be taking work calls, when it's supposed to be your time, your personal time with them or with the things that matter to you, whether it's your Bible study, whether it's your, your hiking, your running club, your cycling club, do that. Don't do work when you're supposed to be with yourself or with your personal time. So if you feel like it's wobbly, there's something that you're not doing right. And it's okay. There's a life stage of working harder than, and trying to get somewhere. That's okay. But it can't be the norm that all we do is just chase. Because how will you even be enjoying that success if you get there and you are burnt out and you are wasted and your health is not in good shape? So I think we need to understand that we need to. I don't have people work late in my company, and some people are new. They don't understand the culture. But I'm like, no, you get used to it. I'm like, no, don't take time from yourself, because I don't pay you for it. I swear to God, when I allocate bonuses, I don't think, oh, this person worked until 5:30, or this person worked till 9. In fact, I frown upon it, because I don't want to work with people who are not enjoying their life. I don't want to work with people who only think about work. Work is work. It will always be there, and do it to the best of your ability when you're touching it. So when I talk about being present in the moment, when you're working, work and work well and kill it, and then leave it. Go home, live, enjoy yourself. When you're on vacation, be on vacation. When you're at work, focus. Even if you're working from home, by the way, you still have the ability to separate the two. And I think separation is a very important thing. You need to know when to work and when to actually just not work. Okay, I think I've said enough. Okay, let me find more. There's a lot of questions. Ooh, let me get quickly through them. I don't even know what time is it. I need to get a watch here. Palisa says, where do you get your style? Love your home decor and outfits. Thank you. I just think, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why you're asking, or I'm not sure what you're trying to address. So, it's, yeah. Where do I get it from? Me? Yeah. Yeah, me. And the outfits, I go buy them. No, listen, I think, let me try and answer. I think that you have to go with what your personality is and what you like. There are things that I will not do. Like, I mean, I have a friend who wears, you know those bandage dresses, they are made for her. Like literally, like made for her. I will not wear that. No. Not. Not. So I know myself. I dress for my body. I dress for the way that I want to feel. I don't like being uncomfortable. But I mean, my friend will rock a bandage dress and look amazing, and she's comfortable, and will wear a heel this high, you know, like beautiful, classy, but not my style. So you have to find what it is that you like and feel comfortable in. Because yeah, it's one thing to like something, but if you then look like a sausage when you're in it, then I mean, what's the point in wearing it? Because then you're gonna be conscious of how you are feeling and how you're looking. So I want to be comfortable. Are you all okay?
Yes.
Sorry. I want to be comfortable. I want to feel great. I want to express myself through my style. I want to express myself through how I look, how I feel. And so for me, dressing up is an expression of who I am. That's why when people say, oh, I like what you're wearing, where did you buy it? I'm like, that's not okay. That's like you're trying to copy and paste me. But you and I are not the same person. So find who you are and go with that. Find who you are and wear and dress up for the person that you are, how you feel, how comfortable you are. I love flat shoes. I buy a lot of flat shoes. I love wearing them. There are people who are like, oh no, I'll be caught dead wearing flat shoes. That's okay. I wear high heels, but I just think that half the time I'm just like, ditch the heel, wear my flats, you know? And I think that we have to do away with the obsession to be like others. Do away with the obsession to all look the same, all dressed the same. No, I'm not going to tell you where I buy my clothes. Not because I don't want you to buy my clothes. I just think go buy your own clothes. You're not going to hear me saying, oh, that's nice, I want to buy it. I mean, somebody once said they like my shirt dress, they'll even wear it with a pair of jeans. I'm like, already right there, you're just like, you're rude, because how the hell do you think you're going to try and... yeah, so be inspired by other people's style. What is it called? Style inspo? What is it? What's the social media thing? So be inspired by other people's style, but the inspiration should go as far as I want to find what my style is. I like how Amanda has found her style and how she actually rocks her style. And I think the inspirational part of that is how I've been able to actually lock in my style, and that you go and lock in your style. Because you're not gonna look like I don't think there's it's okay to wear things that other people wear. So now I can tell you now, if you're asking me where I bought my outfit, or can I plug you? You know, you people in plugs, can I plug you? I immediately think, why the hell would I wear something and then tell you about it so that you go buy it, and then another 100 people go buy it? Like, you know, and I think that we must embrace how different we are. We must embrace that we bring ourselves, you know, everywhere we go. And I'm not going to try and be somebody else. I'm not going to try and look like other people. I can tell you that there isn't a single person I know that is alive that I want to be like. I don't want to emulate anyone. I don't want to, and it's not because of where I am in life. I'm just happy being myself. I'm happy exploring who I am. I'm happy evolving, because also style evolves. Style evolves. It's not, you just one thing. But I think the most important thing is showing who you are through your dress sense, showing how you treat yourself through your dress sense, and respecting yourself through how you dress. And when I say respecting yourself, I mean like follow your heart, follow your own path. You know what looks good on you. If you don't know, I start making it a job to know, because you're gonna go around spending money on things that look good on other people and they look shocking on you, and you're like, no, Kandil, how does this thing work? It's okay to not be like others. It's okay not to wear branded clothes, guys. Like, we don't all have to be wearing things that are written all over. That's not my style. Nina, I wear exactly the same brands, by the way. Even better. Darling. I wear branded clothes. Don't think I don't. You just won't know that they are branded clothes. Because I wear something black. That's a brand, a big brand, So don't just go because other people, and I think there's this big thing. Hey, you got me started now. Let me top myself up. There's this big thing about people trying to prove how much money they have through their clothes. Like, you prove how much money you have through your clothes. You prove how much money you have through your shoes, through your handbags. And some of these things that people are wearing are really just ridiculous, to be honest. And I know I'm not judging, I'm just talking. And it's not judging when you're just talking. So yeah, that's how style does not come from anyone. Style comes from within you. What your style is says a lot about who you are as a person. And I think that we should be okay not to be like other people. I really like being exclusive. I absolutely love being different. I don't want to look like anybody else. I can tell you, if I wear something and I see somebody else wearing it, I'll stop wearing it. I'm that person. And I support a lot of local brands, but sometimes you wear something and then a million other people are wearing it. But I'm not talking, we can't talk about my clothes. My clothes we can all wear. I'm like, yeah, I'll keep wearing it, because that's like a whole different conversation. That's not even about style. That's just heritage, But I don't really like I don't like wearing things that other people wear. Honestly, I don't. And it's got nothing to do with I think I'm better. No, I just want to be different. I just want to be exclusive. I want to be like not like other people, because that's really what I believe sets us apart as humans, is the ability to be different, diversity. I love that, So yeah, that's how my style has come to be. And then this you love my home decor. Thank you. Also, my home is an expression of my personality. And let's say my personality, both my husband and my personality. And I think I said this on one of the last lives I did, where I'm not a person that can live in a house that's beige or cream or white. Like, everything is this one color. No, that's not me. It might look nice on those, magazines, looks beautiful, but it's not me. It's not how I live my life. My life is not just one monotonous color. I'm incredibly colorful. My personality is out there, colorful. So my home must reflect that. It's my home after all. So when I walk in, I must feel like, oh, this is my happy place, my sanctuary. So everything I do, I put in. And I did all the decor for my house, because and it's important to not try to do what other people are doing. Imagine you spend all your money doing this home, and then the next thing you don't like this home because it's not who you are, And I love, you know, I love lived in spaces. I like, you know, I want to see that, oh, people live here, you know. And I don't care for pretty. I don't curate anything in my life. So even in my home, what you see is exactly what my home is like, and that's an expression of who we are. And it's also an expression of, in fact, it's honoring how we live our lives as a family. So it's so important. I never want my children to feel out of place in their own home. So, you know, so as I'm saying, everything comes from within. It's not, style is not out there. It's who you are, and you are therefore using, you know, it be it clothes or your home decor and etc. to express who you are, and you know, and that's okay. If you're a person that likes beige, that's okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that if it's not who you are, then don't do it just because it looks nice or you want to be able to have nice Instagram pictures. You know, you people of the internet. So I hope that helps. But yeah, it's all about me. I don't even follow pages of fashion decor. Yeah, I used to, not anymore. When we were still busy, you know, doing up our home, we would watch, you know, decor programs on TV. We'd buy decor magazines, because, you know, it's okay to get a sense of, you know, what's out there, and then you mix it up your own way. You mix it up to be what you want it to be. So even if you hire somebody to do that for you, just make sure that they're following and honoring who you are, and I think the greatest of them all will honor who you are as a family, who you are as a human being, and what matters to you. So, you know, just don't try and be like other people. Okay. This question says, Ivika says, seeing as healing is a lifelong journey, what practices do you do on a daily basis to keep you healed? It's actually a really great question. You know, the one thing I do the most is reflection. And my ability to reflect keeps me in keeps me deeply grounded and deeply grateful. So, you know, and it's in fact, you say quite nicely that healing is a journey, is a lifelong journey. But I actually think what I've come to learn and understand about healing, my own healing process, is that it's not the healing that is a lifelong process or a lifelong journey. At some point you do heal, but it's the after effects of what you went through that you then have to deal with throughout your life. Because, you know, yeah, for you to get to a point where you've accepted what happened to you, and you've accepted that, you know, things happened to you, or whatever your whatever it is that you need to heal from. I've found that the healing takes place long before, but the effect, the aftermath of what you had to heal from is what is a lifelong practice. And I have days when I cry about my situation as a child, and now, you know, whatever challenges I've gone through, and I there are days when I cry about it, there are days when I don't even think about it, you know, and I allow myself to feel what I need to feel. And I think the biggest mistake we can make is to dismiss our emotions about it. And you know, so it's the understanding of how far you've come. So when I say to you, I am always in deep reflection, it's the understanding of how far I've come, and how much I was able to conquer, things that were meant to destroy me, and how much I continue to conquer, because that's the lifelong part, is the practice of not letting those things pull you back into a space where there is no life for you. So where are you going? Okay, all right. So yeah, that's really where what I do. I reflect about it, and the art of reflection is something incredible, because it's so easy to get caught up in what you are yet to achieve, and miss out on what you've already achieved and how far you've come. Because we live in a world that says you must constantly be chasing the next thing. I don't chase the next thing. I just I'm okay, with how far I've come, and I've become so content with who I am that there is no external, factors that sway me otherwise. So I think we should be chasing being the greatest version of ourselves, and to not allow ourselves to be pulled back into a dark space, and that even if we find ourselves in a dark moment, we appreciate what that moment is trying to remind us, and pull ourselves out of it, because you can't avoid the dark spaces. They exist. They are within you. At least I can talk for myself. They are within you, and they for me, what they do is remind me of where I've come from, and all the triggers around me remind me of where I've come from. So I've come to a place in my life where I embrace my triggers, because they are a great reminder of how far I've gone. All right, back. And how far I've gone. And how far I've come, I guess. So yeah, I think that you must find what works for you, and appreciate that you are not what happened to you. You are not your trauma. You are not the abuse. You are not the whatever pain you may have suffered. You are not that. And you find what works for you in terms of the ability to just look how far you've come. Look how far you've come. And you won't be able to see that if you keep yourself in the noise. So you have to silence the noise. So find a quiet space where you can just be with yourself. And sometimes it's moments in life that remind you, but we often are so afraid to go back and just, take in the lessons of our lives and our journey. Because the good is also muddled with the bad, right? The pain is entangled in some of our past. So there's great opportunity in that, though, for me, and that's how I do it. And I just tell myself how fabulous I am. This question. Why do I I get this question quite often. What advice would I give to my 30-year-old self? I really don't have any advice for my 30-year-old self. I was busy making babies and breastfeeding, so there's nothing more to say, honestly. I wish I had a more philosophical answer, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Simply Naledi says, when venturing into entrepreneurship from being employed, what was your biggest fear? Okay, this question has the multiple questions. What was my biggest fear? I had no fear. The one thing I can tell you about me is that I'm really brave. I have so much self-belief. Remember, I had failed in entrepreneurship before. When I say I had failed, the business failed, not me. So I just figured I'm going to try again. If it doesn't work out, I know exactly what to do. Dust myself up, update my CV, and go back, find work. So, it's not really fear. No, it's not something that I had. So I didn't have fear. And then let me just. You said, what did I do? Well, the question, second part is, what did I do on my first day post-employment? And the question is, was I not overwhelmed? Okay, so again, we all have different parts when it comes to this. When I left corporate, I left my job in May 2014. And then my aim was to take the whole of 2014 off. So that's what I did on my first day post employment, was sleep, because I was burning out. I was proper burning out. So, I then got active around August, in like working in my business, that is. And that was a pure factor of opportunity, and the fact that the people that wanted to work with me really just did not want to let me go. They kept knocking on my door. And eventually I kind of had to stretch. So I think that I had enough rest, and I was okay to then get up and work. So yeah, and what was the first order of the business was to get the company registered as a supplier on different platforms, with different corporates. And ABSA was my first client, and they've been very supportive of my business. So did I not feel overwhelmed? No, I did not feel overwhelmed. I'm not sure why I would feel overwhelmed, but again, remember what I've said about fear. For me, it's how I see fear and failure is different from another person. I don't see failure as the thing that holds me back, and fear, honestly, I would be lying to you if I said I was afraid of something. And when I get nervous about something, I just go and I just pray about it, So as a business owner, I think you are always nervous about, business cycles. And that's just part of being a business owner. But I realize that I can't worry about things I cannot control. So if my team and I continue to do what we do, and we do it to the best of our ability, either way, the cycle will turn, whatever cycle we're in. But pretty much our winning cycle is also not always going to be our winning cycle is not always going to be there forever. Your business is different cycles, so you go through those cycles, and appreciate and accept that. I just think a lot of people like walking through life with this expectation that everything must be good all the time, and that everything must be great all the time, that they must not have challenges. And I don't see a life where you can only just have the good. I don't understand that kind of life. And my life has always been about balancing the good and the bad, and taking what you can. And yeah, I pray for my business, because there are elements that are outside of my control. I pray that, God continues to use me in the way that God chose to use me through my business. So yeah. Okay, let me get through some questions. Noah says, with regards to working with family members, how do you close the gap or draw the line between professionalism and personal affairs, especially because you know each other outside work? I can tell you that I work with two family members, my cousin and my sister-in-law, we're both married to brothers. And we are each as singleton people married to singleton brothers. sounded a bit off. It's just English, guys. It's on the bench today. But so I'm very clear that work is work, and I make sure that I keep that separation. So we could even have a disagreement at work, and then at home we're having lunch on a Sunday, you know. But it takes maturity to be able to have the separation, because don't do it if you cannot have a separation. In fact, I don't encourage it, but there's one thing I've come to realize in life, in my business journey. It's not that I never wanted to work with family. It's just that I never wanted to work with certain members of the family. Some of these people, I'm like, nah. So, and in your own business, you see what you need, and if it's available from your family members, then why not? And you're fortunate to have, I've been really fortunate to be work with family members who also understand where the line is, and you know, who also don't take work things to our personal space. But it does take a bit of maturity. But also it's the ability, the reason I'm able to work with them is because we understand boundaries. They understand where the boundaries are. I understand where the boundaries are. And as their boss, when there's something that's not going right, I'm not gonna mince my words, because they are my family, you know, and they're all treated the same. And how I try and also make sure that I don't, you know, I do my best not to get involved operationally in their work. So they report to somebody that reports to me. So each of them, one has a boss that reports to me, and another one that reports to me, because I must not manage them myself. I always tell them, shame. If I manage them myself, they know what's gonna happen. So they need a buffer between me and them, because I think their hardest thing is that they are my family. So so no, but I mean, it takes a lot of maturity to be able to get that right, and boundaries and respect. I actually must say respect, because respect is very important. You can't take advantage of the fact that we are family when we're on the job, because that's where things, for me, will go very badly. So mutual respect is everything. I don't abuse them, they mustn't abuse me, you know, in any shape or form. And I say me, I mean the privilege of working with each other must not be abused. Okay, so let me see. This question says on how to actually win in corporate. I don't know what you're asking. Please ask the question again. But I'll tell you, I wrote a book called Therefore I Rose. It's also available at amandadambuza.com. And I say a lot about corporate and how the how of the corporate life. But it's not just corporate life. I talk a lot about business. So when I talk about my books, Baked in Pain was more a, let me tell you where I've come from. And Therefore I Rose, it was, let me tell you how I did it, and in the different spheres of my life. So maybe just be a bit specific about what you're looking for, and how to win in corporate, because that's a very, very broad topic. Mrs. Jackie Mpiani says, how do you balance being so authentic, playful, with your great work? That's okay. I'm just not sure what they have to do with each other. So the person that's doing the great work is me. And the me is the person that also actually has fun, like everybody else does. The two don't really have anything to do with each other, you know. And I'm not sure how they would. What I mean is, it's not like because you are playful, therefore you don't take your work seriously. Losando says, what are your life building blocks? Please share one or two. You know, there are things that I think I really believe you have to be resolute about living the life that you want. So doing that inner work is a huge building block. In fact, I preach inner work so much because remember what happens when you're doing the inner work, when you're understanding where you've come from, how the things you experienced affect how you show up now. When you've been able to understand that, you are therefore in a position to fix whatever foundation may have been destroyed or not built or non-existent. So the understanding of self leads to mastery of self. If you have not spent the time understanding who you are, where you've come from, and how the things that shaped you show up now in everything you do, if you have not done that work to understand that, you will not be able to master yourself. And everything that happens to you, everything that you experience in life, you will see it as people doing things to you. So you will be stuck in victim mentality. So that's such a fundamental part of life. But it's not for everybody. Not everyone is going to be able to do it because people are too afraid to go back there. They're too afraid to go inside and get reacquainted. And remember also some of the things that we experience in our childhood, we suppress them depending on how traumatic they are. So the process of actually going back unlocks and uncovers things that you did not even know are there. But guess what happens? They show up, they influence how you show up. So you can't keep them buried forever. You can't ignore them forever. So you have to really understand where you've come from and how you can rebuild that foundation in order to build the life that you want, whatever life that you want. So for me, I don't really focus on things about how challenging life is or the challenges of life. There'll always be challenges in life. It's expected. That should be our going in position, that there will be challenges. So, but it's not the challenges that are the issue. It's your ability to withstand the challenges. It's your ability to deal with the challenges, your ability to rise above your challenges. And this is the difference between people who are completely broken by occurrences in their lives and people who say, this is just another challenge that I'm going to have to rise above. I have the things I need in my toolbox to be able to tackle them. So that is very important for me. And I don't think that you are able to build anything worthy if you have not done that work. I think you'll just be plastering all over the cracks, and then the house is just going to keep breaking down. And the other fundamental issue that leads from there is the ability to appreciate your journey. The ability to appreciate your journey and not to compare yourself to any other person. You know, somebody once said to me, you know, why don't you follow Oprah? Why don't you quote Oprah? Why don't you, you know, even that the recent interview she did with Viola Davis, you know, people were like, oh my gosh, you know, this is like so like, oh, you, Amanda, oh my gosh, she reminds me of you. I have to say it like this because this is how people speak to me sometimes. But the truth is that I appreciate them. And by the way, I watched the interview and I appreciated the conversation, and I appreciated her journey. But I'm not a person that looks like I don't The reason I don't follow Oprah is because I say so many things that Oprah also says in some shape or form, but you all believe it because Oprah said it. So some of you will repost what Oprah said. I'm like, how? I said the same thing, most Mina, the other day, and I didn't even see that Oprah said it. Nina, people of the internet, because Oprah said it. Oh my gosh. So I just think that the where I'm heading to with that point is that when you have done that work, this hard work, and you get this appreciation of where you've come from and who you are, I can assure you, you become your own superhero, and you start to understand that, you know, this life works in ways where you have to be present in every moment of yourself and your life, you know, to appreciate where you've come from and where you're going. So I don't idolize anyone. I don't, you'll see, I don't even follow many people, because it's not that I don't believe there's anything for me to learn from them, but I just end up being so critical of people that are maybe remotely trying to say something that I actually also have a lot of passion in. And I don't want that to sound awful in any way. I just think that I've learned so much from myself. I've learned so much about my own journey that I place no one above my own experiences, because not a single person can live my life. And by the way, that's exactly what a person like Oprah does. You know, she has had to own her journey and share that with the world, absolutely amazingly so, and we're happy to have her. But I'm just so into who I am and how I've come to be here, that it is so pure, it is unfiltered, it is not influenced by anyone, you know. And by the way, I don't want to say amazing things here that are so profound and then you people say I copied it from Oprah. No. So I don't follow her. I did once see she's got an amazing vegetable garden. I saw that somewhere though. I don't know where I saw that. But yeah, I just think that the more we start to appreciate our own journeys and how far we have come, the more we realize that in fact all the inspiration we need is right within ourselves. All of the motivation we need is right here. And I appreciate people that follow me and my work, because I can tell you that. I can tell you that I can continuously remind you that the power that you seek out there and that you admire in so many people is not power that is only reserved for them. It's power that you also have. It's story that you also have. It's a story that you must honor, that you must own, and absolutely be gracious about how far you have come. So yes, people are amazing, they exist, but for me they don't move me much. And that's because I know where I've come from and where I am. And it doesn't take away from me, by the way, to know their story or see where they've come from. But I just think that when the reaction that you have to people, depending on where they've come from, is very much influenced by how you feel about yourself. I really believe that. I believe that what you're trying to find in others is actually something you already have. And if you just turn that attention towards yourself and start to build that more. And it's okay to listen to people and for them to encourage you and motivate you. And if you enjoy listening to them, absolutely wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But then don't just be so obsessed with that. Be obsessed with you. Be obsessed with trying to find who you are and own your story and graciously really enjoy where you've come from and and honor your journey, honor yourself. And you won't be able to do that if you don't go back and see where you've come from and how far you have come. So I hope that's helpful. I think one of the biggest challenges I always have is the question where I get asked, when people ask me, who's your role model? I'm like, I don't have one. I am my own role model. Yo, do you know what I've been through? Hey, do you know what it has taken for me to be where I am, and what it continues to take for me to continuously be on this path? I'm like, no one can be my role model, man. Me, I'm my own role model. Every time I feel down, I look back where I've come from, and I'm like, babe, come on, look where you've come from. Look how far you've come. So I can't see how another person can be my role model. There's nothing I seek out there, because it's inside of me. Like, I have it. I've been there. And I think that the danger in and there's nothing wrong with having role models. Please don't say Amanda said there's something wrong with role models. I'm just maybe not sure about the word role model. But I think it's wonderful to have people who you can draw life experiences from, draw energy from, draw some motivation from. But I just think that when you're talking about actual role modeling, I don't think I want to model anyone. Like, I am perfectly happy being me and what I've been able to build. And maybe that's what it means. Honestly, it's maybe you actually take some lessons from those people and see how you can use them yourself. But I don't think that you need to model anyone. You must model yourself. But what you maybe can do is listen into how they did it, but you find your way of doing it. Because I think that we are obsessed with saying people must copy others and how they've done. No, how I've done my life and how you've done yours are two different things, and how you rise above yours. And I say this because I think we end up minimizing our own experiences because we think they're not worthy enough. There's not enough value to them because they are my own experiences. Some girl from rural Transkei. Therefore, my experiences, who am I? I'm just a simple girl from the rurals. No, like all this is, guys, is about package. It's packaging. It's PR. This thing. It's PR. It's how good you can talk about what you've been through, and that's how then these people become role models. And by the way, if you think I'm a role model, let me think about what to say to you. I think it's okay to draw energy from people, but don't then discount your own experiences and your own life. And one of the things that role model as a word does not even exist in my vocabulary, because I really worry when people, because I think there's sometimes a hierarchy in the conversation about role models. People like to think that you must role model someone who's successful, who's out there, but there's so many role models right around you, if we really have to go with the word role model. And not just around you, deep within yourself, you have everything it takes. I swear to you, nobody is born with something that's much more special than another. The difference is just in our ability to reach in and grab what is inside of us and bring it forth. So I don't model anyone. I just listen to myself and listen to where God needs me to go, and learn what I need to learn and release what I need to release. And I learn what I need to learn, but maybe this is what role models are like, ne? Maybe indeed role model, actually. That's what my husband says to me sometimes. My husband will come home and say, yo, baby, these people say you're a big role model. And like, my client is obsessed with you. She's like, you're such a role model. And I laugh at him. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm a role model. When you don't take me seriously because I'm your wife, you know, you care for me for other things, not, you know. Maybe I am a role model. Yes, I need to. Okay, maybe I'm just saying, don't copy what other people do. And when someone says to me, I want to be like you, Amanda, I'm like, but you can't be like me. You shouldn't even be wanting to be like me. Like, you shouldn't even aspire to be like me. That's not something to aspire to. You should aspire to be yourself. You should aspire to live the life that God intended for you to live. If what you are saying to me is, Amanda, the way you are living your life and the way that you have gone about dealing with your challenges gives me hope that I too can do this thing, yeah, then okay, I got that. You know, I got that. If that is what is being a role model, then happy, I'll take it. But please don't try and copy other people. It's not going to work, because you end up feeling like you're a failure because you're trying to copy other people's templates of what success is. But your success path and other people's success path is different. And I never want to be put on a pedestal as somebody whose template for success people must emulate. No, please don't do it. If there's something that I've done, if I've put it in my book, if you find you resonate with it, fabulous. I'm sharing it because we are peers in life. We are peers in life. We are not, there's no hierarchy that now I'm here and when now you are here. No, we just have different life experiences. And what we should be fighting for is getting to that version that we believe is the version God created us for. That vision that we believe is our version. So, I mean, it's possible that the words are not coming out the way they need to come out, but around this model issue, but a role model issue. But I just think that sometimes it leads to people feeling like their lives are, you know, a little that other people's lives are superior to theirs. And I hope you don't look at role models that way, whoever they are, whatever they do. I hope that you know that every single person has a different path. So there is no hierarchy in it, you know. It's yeah. Eight. Okay. Can you guys text them? Sorry. Can you guys text them? So, because I'm still on my live. Can you switch on those lights, please, love? And this one. Okay. So anyway, that I hope I don't know what I was answering. I don't know, baby. Just text. They must text their parents, né? So, Yanda, a light, baby. Yeah. So I think that's the way I look at life. Is not somebody's there and I must look up to them. And it is possible that it's because I didn't even have that growing up, so I don't understand it. I look at life as not this, but this, you know. We are all these millions, billions of people trying to, you know, head in a certain direction and trying to find the best meaning in our lives. And maybe somebody who's next to you has gone through an experience that you are now going through. And maybe, yes, they can share with you how they overcame it. And then you find what resonates with you. You find what feels right for you to go with. But you don't just copy everything. And our paths and our journeys are so different, and our definition of success is different. And I think that we've fallen into a trap where society has given us a definition of success. And when I say society, we are society, where we define material success as the ultimate form of success, but it's not. You know, material success is just one kind of success. It's not all the success in the world. And I mean, this is not no secret. It's not profound that a lot of people may have all the material success in the world and are the most unhappiest of people, or they are incredibly insecure, or their self-esteem is so low, or you know, whatever it is that their challenges are. So it therefore goes to show that we should not only be seeking just one element of success, but we should be well-rounded in our success. So our spiritual success matters, our emotional success matters, our mental state of mind, our physical state of mind, and our financial or material state of mind, and etc. Whatever your definition is, you know, and it can't be that we all have to go about life in exactly the same way. That has just never made sense to me. It still doesn't. So you find your way. So spiritually, somebody else might believe in ancestors and, you know, going through all of those processes. Somebody else might believe in connecting with their God through I don't know, going to church. Somebody else might believe in going to shave their hair and be connected in a Buddhist type manner. Somebody might decide give up all material things and you know, whatever your definition is, that by virtue of that, it means all of our lives don't have to mirror each other. There are commonalities, there's a great sense of collectiveness in our challenges, but you don't try and do it and copy what others have done. But you know, in business, I think you can copy, because some things are quite 101. You did it, I do it. But even that journey is so different, because you might try exactly the same recipe ga Buffett, and then the next thing you are not succeeding like Buffett. So put you in everything you do. Okay, I don't know what time it is. Let me try and get through the questions rather quickly. How does one apply for a role in my company? I don't know what role you are looking for, but the roles, we post them on LinkedIn and our website. Hey, I'm sharing advanced English here. How much of the trauma, conscious Togo, how much of the trauma we experience is a lesson or an awakening to the history of our lineage? I don't necessarily think that there's, I think trauma is just one experience in a long life of experiences. And it could be a lesson. It could be an awakening. I don't know about it being an awakening of, you know, a history of our lineage, but there is something to be said for traumas that pass from generation to generation. So I do think that, though, we can stop. So let me say it this way. I don't necessarily believe that trauma is a prerequisite for an awakening or success or you know, I don't think that it is a necessary recipe for, you know, building the life you need to build. Some people experience trauma, some don't, you know. And I actually mentioned not so long ago how we also live in a society that has tended to glorify pain, because it looks like the people who have had pain and trauma are the ones succeeding and being celebrated. So people are feeling insecure because they didn't come from a place where, you know, they suffered trauma. I listen to how people talk about where they've come from. You know, a lot of people like to say, oh no, I mean, I didn't have any, like, you know, challenges in my life. And they almost like, they feel apologetic with having had a life of no trauma, because we live a life of, you know, it looks like people who are becoming something in life are people who have come from trauma. Therefore, we associate trauma with success of some kind, or the trauma as the fuel you need to be able to be successful. No, if you didn't have trauma, please be so grateful you didn't have trauma, because that's one less thing to worry about. But you will have your own challenges, whatever they look like. But trauma comes in many different shapes and form, by the way. Trauma is not necessarily just sexual abuse, or, you know, physical abuse, or emotional and mental abuse. It could be that in your adulthood you face a traumatic situation. So it could be maybe you lose your job. That is trauma. It could also be that you know, you have, let's say you get involved in some kind of accident and you lose your mobility. That is trauma. It could be, so it's not, I don't necessarily think, that's why the connection to the lineage is not something that I think is a direct connection. But there are instances where the trauma has absolutely been passed from one generation to another, where, you know, it's almost as though they call it the curse of the family. But I also don't really believe in the curse of the family. I believe everybody has a choice. I believe everybody has a choice. And, you know, we talk in psychology, there's something called free will. And I write about this a bit in Baked in Pain, because, you know, it's easy to say I came from a trauma, therefore all I know is trauma. No, you can change that. It's been proven. You can change it. It takes decisions and action to change it. So yeah, I think that it definitely is an experience, is a lesson in that. You know, in my book I write about this thing called, you know, this notion that once abused, always abused. And I'm saying I disagree with that notion. And in a way, you know, because you've had trauma does not necessarily mean that that is the definition of what your life is going to be. Yeah, it takes a lot to break against something that you've always known. If you've come from trauma, if you watched trauma in your home in some shape or form, if you've experienced trauma in your adult life and it looks like it keeps repeating itself, then, you know, it might actually it might push you into a different direction. But the truth is that I see trauma as just one of the things we experience in life. I see trauma and pain as happiness and joy. You know, it's just something that you will go through in some shape or form in your life. I think your child getting injured or hurt is a trauma, is a traumatic experience. So anything that kind of unsettles and really uproots your sense of security and your sense of safety is traumatic. I hope I've helped you. I hope I've answered. Okay, let's get through these questions because time is running out. This question says, how do you deal with a boss that wants you to worship them when in fact they are not all that great, really? I don't have to deal with any. How would you deal with it is the question. You know, guys, you're not married to bosses, eh? You're not married to bosses. By the way, even if you're married to someone, doesn't mean if it's no longer working, you must just stay because you're married. You know, so I don't think you are married to a boss. If your boss is not a good boss, find a new boss. And I know it sounds very nonchalant, but actually, I don't know how else to answer this, because if you're not happy with somebody, deal it. If you like where you are, then okay, just tell them that honestly you don't like how they carry themselves, or however else, bosses, like jobs, can be changed. In fact, people leave bosses more than they leave the jobs themselves, because you might really like your job but you hate your boss, and that's okay. Go find another boss. But the one thing I will tell you is that one thing I learned over my long period of time in corporate is that you take yourself everywhere you go. You take yourself everywhere you go. So if you do not have the ability to deal with a narcissistic boss in your current job, there's no guarantee that you're not going to meet another one in another job. So you need to resolve yourself. Hence, I talk about personal mastery. You need to find ways to deal with that boss. Talk to them about what you do not like. Because, again, we like to think that bosses have better rights than their employees. In fact, employees should have even more protection, because you do have, and bosses are just people. They people who are wounded. They're people who, you can tell what kind of boss you have, what experiences your boss had by experiencing them. So you have bosses who have not healed from their own issues. But bosses are just people. Again, the fact that there's hierarchy in their role does not make them more important than you. So deal with it, talk about it, seek somebody who can help you, seek counsel from somebody who can help you with it. And if all fails, leave. Find another boss. You're not gonna have to. Listen, you might be like, this thing of bosses is like a lotto. You might get lucky or you might not. Setumo says, we understand you encounter customers who refuse to increase rates. If so, how do you deal with it? We encounter that all the time, darling. It's called par for the cause. It's part of the business. So, you just have to keep negotiating. You have, relationships matter, because, also timing matters, because you can't, I've had consultants who want increases in the middle of COVID lockdown. I'm like, if my client's not giving me an increase, you are not getting an increase, especially because margins are so tight in our kind of business. So, it's the art of negotiating. So yeah, there's nothing really more to say to that. It's everyday part of our business. But I think you have to be able to say to a client, listen, you haven't increased the rates in 2 years. And I'm also getting pressure from my people to increase their salaries or their rates. So this question says, how did you start this journey of self-success and awakening? I think you should read my books, really, honestly. I'm not going to do justice to it. But like everything, you evolve, you decide you deserve better. And that's where it starts. But get my books at amandatambuza.com. I really think they're worth getting. Okay, Buntle says, how do you remain relevant at work without trying too hard? Women often have to prove themselves more. There's something to be said for also some of the things that we feed ourselves as women, because I do think there's an element of that expectation that women must do more, but there's a point, and I'm just reflecting back on my own experiences. There's a point where this is something we actually put upon ourselves. And I can tell you that in my entire corporate career, no one ever made me feel like as a woman I need to prove myself more. But it's possible that I believed I needed to prove myself more, because remember what we're trying to do here. We're trying to penetrate areas that we never were in before. We're trying to prove our worth. So it goes without saying that you want them to see that you are worthy of, and you deserve to get paid as much. deserve to be rewarded and promoted as much. So again, I think there's something to be said for how much pressure we put on ourselves to be that. And sometimes we see it in places where it doesn't exist because we are trying to fight feeling like we are imposters in a space that never welcomed us before. So is there such a thing called trying too hard? I don't know what is an example of trying too hard, because I think that you have to be true to you, true to what you do, true to the experience and the skill you bring to the table. There is no trying too hard when you are the experienced person in the room. You are the experienced person. You bring that to the table. You pull it out when it's required. So, I think that there's most certainly an element of industries where I mean, when I got into technology, it was in 2001, and not many women were in technology. In fact, I think I became the first CIO in my job, and that was my last job. First black female CIO. And I mean, post that, there's been millions of them, and CIO, divisional CIO. So, but never at any point did I feel like somebody was making me, I don't remember having other people make me feel like because I'm a woman, I need to prove myself more. So I'm just saying that whilst there are such realities, we just need to we need to pause and look at what is real and what is not real. And what are you experiencing in your environment, and treat it with merit. So it's easy to say that, women have to prove themselves more. But then if I have to ask you, okay, what does that look like in every day of your life? Like, what does that look like? And then we can actually talk about, what is it? Is it a factor of your work ethic, or is it a factor of being a woman? And I'm saying this because it's probably not the most politically correct thing to say, but I mean, if you've been following me, politically correct is not me. But I have dealt with many, many, many women who create these worlds in their head that are not necessarily a true reflection of what they go through every day, because they've come from a place that says you're not good enough. They've come from a place that says, against your brother at home, your brother is the creme de la creme. So you constantly have to be climbing a wall to prove to your parents that you're also worthy. So all I'm saying is that our experiences are informed, and by a lot of our realities are informed by a lot of our experiences. So just take the time to unpack what it is that is real and what is not. And painting everything with the same brush is not always going to be helpful in this situation. So there is a common conversation, of course, around women and participation of women in the workplace and recognition and etc. But I just think that we also need to acknowledge the role we play in that. And no one will ever make you feel small unless you make yourself feel small. And no one will ever make you feel like you have to be doing more than others unless you allow for that to happen. So it's, how are you feeling about your contribution at that table? Do you believe you deserve to be at that table? And I think it's not, I guess what I'm saying is that it's not as simple as what it seems sometimes. And I like to deal, when it comes to topics like this, I like to deal actual examples. So I mentor women who are senior in their roles, who have come up, who feel that they are not, they are expected to do more. So I say, okay, give me an example. And the examples, because I am an objective person. And remember, when you are knee deep in your own world, you get so caught up in what you believe is happening, right? And sometimes you just need someone who is emotionally not connected to the situation to actually test your belief of what you're saying or your beliefs. And I mean, I've had a young lady who works at a big bank, and you know, she was first of many as expected in a merchant bank, but some of the things that she says about how the male colleagues make her feel are not things that the male colleagues actually do, you know. And I want to say that they probably do them and they are not conscious or that they're doing them. And that also she's the one that feels that she's not living up to what the male colleagues are about, you know, the boys club. Guys, we cannot aspire to be part of the boys club. We don't want that because we are always going to lose. We are always going to lose. So if the idea is boys club, how do I measure up to that? It's not going to happen. Bring yourself. Forget about the boys club. Bring yourself and be comfortable and confident in what you're doing. And if people are making you feel small, deal with them. Don't let it pass. Don't let it go. You've heard me say passing comments, and passing comments get made in environments like that. I'm not saying these issues don't exist. I'm just saying pause and see what role do you play in perpetuating those situations. That's really what I'm trying to say. I don't necessarily believe that you have to work harder to prove yourself. No. I just think that you have to be confident in what you bring to the table. And if an environment does not appreciate it, there are many other environments, you know. And remember, no one is going to hand over anything to you, you know. And especially in the hardcore environments where it's like, you know, factory work or like hardcore engineering, hardcore this, hardcore that. Those people are not going to suddenly say, oh, you know, welcome, darling princess, in your pink dress. Here's a corner office. No, because remember, when people have always had privilege, when the scales are starting to balance, and by the way, scales will not balance in a long time. But when you've always had privilege, and then now we're saying, here are other people who are going to take part in the privilege, that is a big threat to you. You feel like you're being discriminated against. And the natural reaction is fight or flight, right? And a lot of people end up fighting. They fight that they're now these newcomers to the privilege. Because if you've always had privilege, you believe you're entitled to that privilege. So I'm saying a lot of things. I'm getting rather deep for a Saturday, but I hope that this somehow puts some of the things into context. But don't fall. Let's say your environment is truly like that, truly proven the way you're treated. Why will you continue to perpetuate that status quo? So fight it, you know. No one's going to hand over anything to you guys. These things are not going to be, and even when I say nobody ever made me feel like that, doesn't mean it was not hard. It doesn't mean I didn't get the sense that I was being treated differently sometimes. But sometimes when you're a woman, it gets so complicated because you're not sure if you are being treated differently because you are black or because you are a woman. So now then become a black woman, it's even more confusing because you're just like, I'm not sure what's going on here. So I'm glad I left. I'm very glad I left because there are wars that are silent that you don't even understand. You don't even know that they exist. And I think that's the complexity of these environments, because the wars are external, but they're also internal. The wars are internal too, because you're just like, we come from a certain place, guys, and we cannot discount that. So we have to be so mature about looking at our situations, but also understanding that it can no longer be the status quo. So if you genuinely feel like that, if you feel like you are expected to do more, deal with it, because it will continue and you're gonna burn out. Yo. Alright, shame. Okay, let me see this question. What time is it? Can somebody tell me what time it is in Johannesburg, South Africa? It's okay, just in South Africa, because it's not like there's a place in South Africa where the time is different. there's a part down south there in South Africa that hopes that they can change. Yeah, 1729. Okay, when did I? Oh, I started at 3, didn't I? Okay. All right, so this question says, what do you think about narcissistic abuse, especially in Africa, and those who are truly unaware, which causes more trauma because our justice system is also unable to navigate fairness for victims of abuse? Oh, that's a loaded question, and I can feel it comes from somewhere. So I would like to acknowledge that it sounds painful just reading it, because it sounds like there's a lot that has gone on. I don't want to. It's too specific and too general as well at the same time. So, but here's what I will say. The one thing, and I don't want to talk about it's an Africa issue or problem, but I want to say that where people have abused others in any shape or form, anyone who's an abuser is narcissistic. So let's just get that agreed to. And then I think that there's a sense that okay, let me find the English. Wait, I know what's going to help me. There's a sense that perpetrators of violence of any kind do not suffer consequences, therefore it continues. I know that this is the conversation in South Africa, that there are no consequences for perpetrators of violence of any kind. Therefore, people feel done in. Yeah? Which room? A roof? No. Please don't go to the roof. What do you need from the roof? Excuse me one moment. All right? Oh, no, you won't be able to see the sunset from here. Because we are in a valley, remember? A valley. And it's not safe to go on the roof. Please don't go on the roof. And, Yanda? Can you put wood there? Do you wanna be in that study and use that room? Where's the block? Yeah. Would you like me to entertain you? Do you want me to come and entertain you? Or are you okay? Dealing with a bunch of 11-year-olds. Oh, baby, there's wood there. And that's it. Yeah. So I think that, I think that that's as much as I want to say, is that there is that sense that justice does not favor the sufferers or victims of these scenarios. So, which is okay, baby, thank you. Which is actually quite disturbing. Yeah. I do think that the more consequences we start to see, the more people will be a little more deterred, maybe. But I mean, if you continuously perpetrate violence and get away with it, it means it's saying it's okay, Yeah, so it's unfortunate. These 11-year-olds want to climb the roof. Hey, Banna. I'm responsible for these people. I need to make sure they don't hurt themselves. This one says, hi, Sitsi, I'm starting a management role at senior level with female subordinates. Any advice? I'm not sure why female subordinates is a problem, or you would need advice for it. So maybe let's get clearer with it. And I just think that the minute you're calling your team subordinates, but okay, I don't want you to sound like I'm attacking you, so let me say that again. I think there's something with negative connotations with calling your team subordinates. Something doesn't like settle with me on that. So maybe I don't resonate with that word, because I think it's got negative connotations. So perhaps we can start by revisiting that word, because then you'll see them as humans who deserve respect, who deserve to be treated with the necessary humility, and so again, I'm just not sure why it's an issue to have female team members or female colleagues. So, and I don't even know if you are female or not. So yeah, no one is subordinate to anyone. These kinds of conversations and words don't really build. Do I have a set retirement age? Yes, I do. It's not set though. It's just something that will happen. Which book am I currently reading? No book. I'm not reading. Which is my favorite all-time book? I've got many of them. But Care of the Soul by Thomas More was a great book. This question says, have you ever acted unfairly to someone in hope of encouraging them to do better? Tough love. No, tough love is my middle name, but I don't treat anyone unfairly. So I think that the two, tough love and treating someone unfairly, is not necessarily like giving someone tough love does not mean you're treating them unfairly. So I don't remember an instance where I treated someone unfairly, but I most certainly give tough love all the time. If you haven't experienced it here, I don't know. But I'm the person, you don't come to me if you want sugar-coated love, because I don't have it. I can't give it. So no, I'm not going to answer this thing about retirement. Why? What's with the interest? It's my retirement, not yours. I still don't understand why the question. So, I don't understand the question. You all are being weird. Okay. Thank you, Togo. Togo was just giving feedback that thank you for, help. Thank you. Question. Pardon, I have to. On what basis do you accept to mentor someone, and how do you prefer to be reached on the subject? So I have a group of people I mentor, and some of them are, businesses that I incubate in mine, and I mentor them. Some of them, I just like them. Some I resonate with. And I mean, I do a lot of mentorship on here. This is what I define as mentorship. And I also, I must tell you though, this thing about mentorship, I've said it before, so let me say it again. Be clear about why you need mentorship, because no one's going to tell you how to live your life. The only time you need mentorship is when you are going through something, you've tried many different things and it's not working, and you want to talk to somebody and bounce that off. So sometimes I think people want to ask, I think this idea, and I'm not saying it's you, but I'm just saying, since you've asked the question, mentorship is not a continuous process every day. You know, it's not a continuously every week, every day, every month. It's for a defined period of time. And the mentorship sessions that I like the most are the ones where I get paid. So I think I'm answering your question. How do I prefer to be reached on the subject? You can reach me on LinkedIn. But be clear about why you need a mentor, because and I did a session on the differences between a mentor, a coach, and a sponsor. It's on YouTube, Vastly Sage. Subscribe free and watch, because I think it's so important before you think you need a mentor to be clear about why you need a mentor, and what it is that you are trying to achieve, where are you stuck, and what are you trying to achieve. That is very important. Yeah. This one says, do you think networking is the great it's made to be in corporate, or do you think just letting your work do the talk is still relevant? Oh, honey, letting your work do the talk is not gonna get you the promotion. That I can assure you. People don't work like that. You have to back that up with talking to the right people. Somebody must know about the work you are doing, and it's whether you like it or not, decisions are made at tables where you are not, and you won't have the opportunity to tell them about the work you do. So it's so important that the right people get to know about what you do. So how do you do that? I'll give you an example. In your organization, you know who's influential. If you don't know, make it your job to know who is influential, and who has the ability to move the dial for you. And it may not always be your boss. And then what you do when there's a work thing where you can, get to connect with them, get to tell people about what you do. So if there's a project that is being celebrated, do not sit at the back of the corner and say, oh, my work did the thing. No, get there and say, I was part of the team that achieved this, and tell them how you contributed to the team goal. It's not overselling yourself. It's just talking about what you've done. So if you don't do that, nobody will know about what you've done. So find the right people, and it's also actually part of the reference I just made on Vastly Sage YouTube, where I talked about the differences between mentorship, mentor, coach, sponsor, because you need a sponsor, but I don't think you need one sponsor. You need multiple sponsors in a corporate job, because many different people are at different tables where you are being discussed. If it's not your increase, it's your promotion, it's your bonus, it's your participation in a very critical and strategic project, it's being chosen for some great course at Harvard. It's, somebody's making that decision and you are not there. So you don't get invited at every table to present yourself and your work. No, somebody must talk about you. Somebody must advocate for you. Hey, babe. So somebody must advocate for you. Thank you. So yeah, let's see which one I pick again, and then there's a lot of these guys. This one says, Mama, I've been stuck on my studies for quite some time and it's giving me social anxiety. How can I deal with it? There's so much criticism I come across. I really don't understand the question, love. What do you mean you've been stuck on your studies, and why are you stuck? And what do your studies have to do with other people? So when you say criticism, what criticism? So I think maybe just maybe ask yourself why it's bothering you so much. Are you bothered by it, is the question. Why are you stuck? Is it I mean, I know people who took 7 years to finish their undergrad. They finished eventually. It's not a race against other people. It's your goal, it's your objective, no matter how long it takes. So I don't know what your circumstances are. I don't know why you're saying you're stuck. I don't know why you have social anxiety about it. So yeah, but I think that focus on what you need to do. It's not, no one is going to come, even the ones who criticize you, they're not going to come and sit and write the exam for you. So why must you worry about them? You know, worry about getting to the goal, and getting yourself there and be proud of it, because it's your goal, it's your objective. Yeah, so I hope I've helped somehow. Okay, I'm gonna stop at some point, so if I don't answer your question, please don't feel offended. This question says, I'd love to change careers. Do you think it's possible in South Africa, and where does one start? Why would it not be possible in South Africa? Maybe let's get to why you think it's not possible in South Africa. By the way, I also did a mentorship session on changing careers, Vastly Sage YouTube. It's the first season of mentorship. So the one I did 2021, I think. Yeah. But I'm not sure why it's not possible in South Africa, why you would think it's not possible in South Africa. I don't know if you are South African, or you know, what's the context. But I think really do watch that, because I spent a lot of time on it. It was a question I did receive, and I answered it. It's in the first mentorship sessions I did. Since this is bad choice of words, I acknowledge I'm growing. It's okay, honey. That's why we're here. We're here to grow through tough love. Okay. Okay, so that question about female colleagues, she says, I am female. I always hear there are clashes between females, so I'm just anxious. Okay, that alone, you've already led with anxiety. You've already concluded that this is true, that all females clash with each other all the time. So get that out of your mind. Get that completely, like, start from scratch. And you tell me, are you a female that always clashes with other females? So start with yourself. If you are that, then you need to work on yourself. And don't go around believing everything you hear about females. I mean, yeah, we got our things, but I also think there are mature professional women that we work with, that you can work with, that will, if you just treat people with respect and you see them as people, and treat them with respect of being a leader. That's what I mean. Because when you're a leader, you are being given the responsibility to look after people. You must hold that opportunity with both hands and with great respect, because it's something to be said about you. So you know, it's a, yeah. So just go for it. Don't go in with preconceived ideas, because you are going to make reality what you believe before you walk in. Okay, all the best. Lebu says, Hi Amanda, have you achieved all that you planned in business and personal life? All that I planned so far, yes, yes. But I mean, I still have a life ahead of me, so so yeah. God knows what's in store for me, but so far I'm fabulous. I'm great. I'm content. I'm happy. Guys, please, I'm not gonna go and pick your question. I have to go in chronological order. So if I don't get to it, I mean, I might be here for 10 hours and still won't get to your question. So just bear with me as I go through it as much as I can, okay? And maybe, oh yeah, there's just a few more that I'll go through. So maybe don't add more questions, okay? Okay, this question I think I've already answered. Go watch the session I did in Vastly Sage. The question says, how do you go about finding the right sponsor in corporate? So most certainly, it's there. I definitely addressed it, and I addressed it at great length. So please do watch it there. Yeah, when I'm me. I think you people just you just poke. I said I'm gonna be nice today, but I can see you're poking. You're poking the bear, honey. Can you handle the heat? Okay, let's see. Okay, this is an appreciation. Thank you, Tsepo. Tsepo says, hi, Amanda, I'm appreciating you a lot and keep on being true to yourself without pleasing anyone. Thank you. No, I've got some people I have to please, like my children. Those people matter. Thank you. I get what you mean. I think I already kind of answered this question. How does one deal with a narcissistic leader? If you don't agree with them, they stop talking to you. Yeah, I already addressed this. So a bad boss, I think that's what we were talking about. I also answered this question. Hi, Sis Amanda, how do you manage a good work-life balance? I feel like I'm drowning, can't even date, but I must say, you seem to be doing well, mom, wife, work and all well done. Thank you, dear, but just watch this again. I did answer this question. You can't even date, so you're not getting adult playtime, That's why you're so tense. Sort that out as a matter of priority. That's why I can't translate that, sorry. That's the main problem. Oh man. I hope that you can at least laugh at yourself. Stop it, guys. I'm trying to be serious. Okay. No, but you people are trying to solve problems that don't matter. Solve that one problem, then everything falls into place. Okay. So this question says, any advice for a first-time manager working in a new organization? Um, okay, let me come back, guys. Okay, woo, I'm good. No, stop it. Like, honestly. Okay, any advice for a first-time manager working in a new organization? I'm not sure what advice you're looking for, because there's like a world of advice. So maybe just be specific about what it is that you're looking for particularly. New organizations bring their own challenges. Are you leaving, honey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's fine, my mom's outside, so.
Please ask Brianda to open for you.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Sure. It was nice to see you. So, every organization brings its own challenges, and I think one of the biggest challenges that a new person would have in a new environment. I don't necessarily think that, first time manager, you'll learn the things you need to learn. You'll train, you'll go on courses you need to go on. It is nice to see you, sweetie. Bye. Thanks for coming. You're not hungry?
I'm okay.
Okay, good. And then you want to I think people put themselves under pressure to settle in too quickly and get to know everyone, what's happening. And I don't know how big the organization is, but what I'll say is just allow yourself the time and space. Allow yourself the time and space to settle. You are there on merit. You are there because you deserve to be there. So don't feel like you have to prove yourself from day one. No, just understand the lay of the land. I think one of the things that are very important, and people in corporate like to say, oh no, I don't do politics and etc. But the truth is that there's no, every corporate environments are political. So you have to understand what's the political play, and understand who's doing what, and where do you fit in, and how are you going to navigate, the corporate world. And I think that that's something that a lot of us were not told before we got into corporate. We just thought everyone's going to be happy for you and be happy you're there, and clap for you and not call you a subordinate. Sorry, Zinzi, I couldn't resist. So yeah, I think just take it easy, take a deep breath, and allow yourself the space to learn what you need to learn. Do not let people walk all over you because you're a new manager. Put up boundaries from the start. And if you don't know how to, please watch Vastly Sage YouTube. I did a session on boundaries. And I really think that you need that, because how you start is how people are going to treat you. So yeah, please. Sylvia says, what is your honest opinion on doing an MBA to assist in climbing the corporate ladder? Or is it all about relationships you have built in the organization? I really think that there's a place for the MBA if you are in corporate. And to be honest, this is actually very much a personal decision. So my opinion of the MBA should not impact or affect your opinion of the MBA. Or if you want to do the MBA, do the MBA. But I think that there was a time when I was in corporate when I felt I was a little under-equipped because I didn't have an MBA. But that wasn't because, of anything. I had focused, I focused my career on building up my professional career, so becoming a professional project manager. And I spent years studying, getting certified, doing everything to be that. And it's easy in corporate because it's so competitive. It's easy to think that you need, something more. And I think that, you know, there was a time, and I write about this in my book, Baked in Pain, because there was a time when I felt a little insecure about the fact that I did not have an MBA. But, you know, I started to reflect on how far I've come in my career. I was busy getting promoted left, right, center. So I chose a specialist route for me. I chose to specialize in something, and I spent all my time doing that. So, you know, by the time I got to the MBA conversation, I think I was already quite senior. I've been promoted. Companies were falling over themselves trying to hire me, different companies. I had choice, you know. So I think don't just do the MBA because you just want an MBA. I think do it because you are trying to develop a certain part in your career, or a certain element of your personal development requires the MBA. I would hate for somebody to go and give up so much of their time, so much of everything, in fact, to obtain a qualification that they end up feeling is completely useless. But they have the certificate, and you've posted on Instagram, but we can only like it once. But when now you gave up a lot. So I think do it because you have this real need that you have identified that the MBA is going to help you solve. But again, one of the things that the MBA students tell me is that the practical element of application of the MBA is what you still have to get. So I doubt that anything you study is a waste. So let me put it that way. I doubt that. But it's about where you are in life and what you're willing to give up and how it's going to help you climb the ladder. I think it does give you a sense of credence. So it does give you a sense of achievement, and that you can stand tall amongst those with MBAs and masters. But listen here, you are still going to come across those who have doctorates. So be okay with who you are and where you are. And if you want to continuously, you know, evolve and study, that's okay too. Do it. And be willing to give up what you need to give up for it. So yeah, that's that's what I would offer. I don't have it, and I will never do it. And I know never is a long time, but I just think that there's so much that I don't have a need for it. But you know, the one thing I wanted to go back and study is anthropology, because I love diversity. I love the diversity. I love the study of cultures and how cultures evolve. So I want to go back to study for interest, not for, I don't have to try and climb anything now. And it's a beautiful place to be, to study for interest, you know. I remember my husband did his MBA back in 2007, our first year of marriage, and it was hectic. But you know, my husband did his MBA because at work he was now expected to start managing people. My husband has always been a specialist, you know, in what he did, and you know, it's a. He did it, and then after he got it, he was like, it was the biggest waste of his time. So again, I'm just saying, because he did it for the wrong reason. You don't need an MBA to learn how to manage people, you know. So your intention for having it must be very clear. What are you trying to solve for? This comment says, I think sociology would likely interest you as well. I love how people tell me what should interest me. But thank you. I did sociology, by the way. I majored in sociology, so, but I just want to continue studying anthropology, not sociology. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it here soon. So I just think there's a lot of okay, there are comments here, so I won't read the comments. I'll just maybe pick out questions, okay? I appreciate your comments. Somebody burnt their eggs while they were listening to me. Oh, it's a great honor. Thank you. This one says, I suffer from self-doubt and it's affecting how I do my work. Any advice on how to deal with this? Please may I ask you to go watch a session I did on self-esteem. I did 2-hour session, mentorship session on self-esteem. And in fact, I think you should watch the whole series I did of the mentorship. It's on Vastly Sage, so the one I did this year, because I spent a lot of time on self-doubt and self-esteem and the differences and how to build that up. So please just go and watch it there. And feel free to comment, like, share, you know, the things you do, people of the internet. I really think it's going to help you to watch the session I did. Thank you for all your nice comments. I won't read them, but at least I won't read them out loud. I'm out of time now. Jim, this person has been begging me to to answer. I hope your question is good, hey? Because hey. This one says, hi sis, how do you attract your tribe? Not necessarily romantically, however, people who breathe same air like you, people obsessed with growth and want to live like your tribe. How do you get it? Well, that's just a matter of what are you looking for, and because there's a billion people under the sun, so there's a million of them. But it's what is attracting you to that person. And I mean, you either meet them at events, you meet them online, you meet. Hey, careful who you meet online. I'm talking about, you know, assume everyone is fake until proven otherwise. So yeah, just spend your time understanding what it is that you are looking for in your tribe and go about selecting them in that fashion. I can assure you it can be business-like, and it should be business-like, because if you're clear about what it is you're trying to achieve with your life, then, you know, go about reaching out to those people who met. By the way, it's not that everyone is that you like and you think it will contribute something to you will become your friend or become part of your tribe. Just hope that you have something exciting for them too, you know, because it's a two-way street. It's what have you got to offer, right, love? So I think that if you're struggling to find the right people, or maybe let's just say, if you find yourself in spaces where you're not feeling like this is your tribe, understand that you are also evolving, and you need to be connecting with people that you know are speaking to what it is that you're trying to achieve. Because a tribe can also just be, you can just have a Puza Thursday tribe, you know. Does that build you? I don't know. So what exactly are you looking for? And also start to attend the right events. So get out of your home and go connect with people, seeing that we now can. Go out and connect with people, and for me it's about energy. So I don't go about connecting with people. I don't go and say, oh, that one does 1 2 3 and they look cute, I like them, I want to connect with them. No. For me, you have to move me with your energy. So there are people I'm expected to be friends with when people are like, no, the two of you must meet, because I think you're going to be great. And then I meet them and I'm like, no, I never want to see you again type thing, you know. So I think feel what you know, when you meet people, see how you feel about them. The energy doesn't lie. And anyway, that's how I do it. I as you can imagine, my friendship is in demand. So it's important to be the friend you would like to receive in the world, firstly to yourself. So and then I feel like you attract that which you exude, and I think that's important. So yeah, I hope somehow I've helped you, baby. Thanks, love. Yeah, guys, I have one of those. I have those kettles in my house, the ones that whistle. I don't have an electric kettle. We put it on the stove. I feel like I'm living in an authentic farm style life. So yeah, anyway, I hope that helps. First and foremost, be the tribe you want to be to yourself. Be that tribe to yourself, and then you will attract the right ones. And even if the wrong ones sip in by some mistake, it's okay. It happens. That's how you know what you don't want. So again, friendships evolve, because what could be your tribe today may not be what you want for your tribe tomorrow. So just, evolve with the times and allow the evolution to happen. But most importantly, be what you would like to see out there to yourself, because that's most important. Thank you so much, guys, for all the wonderful comments. I'm reading them. I appreciate them. Thank you. Okay, let me quickly see if I can. There's a lot of these. I'm going to take this one. If I'm not answering your question, it's because maybe I've already answered it. Okay, so make some tea and watch this again, because I think it's fun. So this one says, how do you stay so grounded and motivated, energetic, and like nothing ever gets you down? I don't believe that nothing ever gets me down. I just have the ability to bounce back from things very quickly. If you were listening earlier, I said, life is about the good and the bad. You take it as it comes. What matters the most is what tool sets have you got in your toolkit to deal with life's challenges. I can tell you that I was busy dancing and popping champagne when my mom-in-law was sick recently, So that was tough, but I focused on what I needed to do, which was look after her and get her to good health. And she's in good health now, so I can pop the champagne and dance. So there's a time for everything. And I can tell you that things get me down, but I don't stay there. Because there's so much life to live, you can't dwell on your disappointments. But pretty much like your achievements, celebrate them, but move on, and because there's gonna be something else. There's gonna be another. So I stay grounded because. Sorry, one moment. Guys, can you tell Uyanda the driver is outside for TJ? So there's but how I stay grounded is the fact that everything I do and everything I am and everything I've achieved, I owe it to the glory, the mercy, what I believe God has done for me there's no words to put it. So that grounds me greatly when I know that, yes, I have met God halfway, because I don't believe that God comes and lives your life. God gives you the intellect and the ability to choose. And then the rest you kind of have to build on yourself. You have to, learn from your life and build up. So for me, that grounds me. The fact that, and I'll tell you how I feel about materials. Let's talk about that. But, there's this, I believe that I need to do good. I need to do, just open the, yeah. Just open. It was nice to see you, big guy. Oh, it's my pleasure. The ability to understand that things can be taken away from me is really grounding, because then I don't have this, I don't walk around with the sense of I'm better than others. In fact, every day of my life, I do the best I can to listen to where God needs me and how I can help people, because that's how I register my gratitude with God, is to say, I know where you've taken me out of. I know why you put me on this earth, and I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to live such a full life. But I mean, this life wasn't just full by itself. I had to make the decisions and do the things and put in the work to get it where it is. So there was another question in the question box that says something about my spiritual life. I don't need to go to church to be close to my God. In fact, at some point in my life, I decided, let me remove church dependency as my conduit to my God, because I think sometimes religion complicates things. So I have a direct relationship with God. I have no doubt in my life that I am where I am because of the mercy of God. I believe that God chose me for this specific path. That's why I always say, we can't be comparing our journeys to others, because you don't know what God has chosen for you and what God has in store for you. So whether you believe in God or not is immaterial. The point is that the universe, whatever you believe in, is going to give you what you need what you need for your life. So if you are busy looking at what others are getting, you're gonna miss what is in your path. You're gonna miss the opportunities that exist within your own story. So that is deeply grounding for me. And the idea that, let me tell you how I feel about money. Don't ask me for money, by the way. Please don't. Because sometimes when I talk about how I do deal with money, then you have all these DMs, people asking you for money. I won't give it to you. I give it through other means like this. No, and I mean, I've got causes that I support. So, and I recently did the NPO call out. So, I mean, that's how I give, but the point is that I always believe that all of the success I have in my life is a gift from God, so that I use it to do God's work. So everything I have, whatever it is, the way I see it, is that God is giving me these resources to be able to do God's work. Therefore, if I don't do God's work, God is going to take the resources away. But then I get to enjoy the resources too, because I mean, I am a soldier of God, so I do the work, I gotta be rewarded somehow. So that's my conversation with God, is I'll do your work, but I mean, I deserve a nice vacation, because damn, you put me to work like you. I work, man. Yeah, but you see how if I say something like that, then somebody thinks Amanda's going like no, I don't play like that. So that's how I live my life. That's how I stay grounded. What motivates me is to keep doing that, and what motivates me is the fact that I am making a difference. That for me matters above everything else. I don't care to be known. I don't care to be relevant. This conversation of relevance is not even like, I'm relevant through what I do. I can disappear for 6 months. It's not like, food won't be on my plate, but also what it means is that, I know where my strength comes from. I know where my compass is at, and I really know what I'm about. And for me, that's my greatest motivator. It's being so clear, and I really thank God for the ability to have done this work that I've done. And on the other side of the hard work is just such an incredibly full life. And it's energy. Energy is, that's my middle name, hey. Okay, I think I'm done now. I know there's still other questions, but I won't be able to quickly though. This one says, I believe in family and blocking the toxic ones. Do you feel guilty doing it? I think you are always going to feel a tinge of guilt when you're dealing with family, because, you know, there's this expectation that, you know, when you're family, you have to have a certain decorum with each other, and that you must be close, and that, you know, your family must want what's best for you, and, you know, all these romantic notions of what family is about. But the truth is that, you know, family is also made up of humans that you either like or don't like. I mean, you have people in your family that you just don't like. I just think, though, it's something that people are too afraid to say out loud. So I just don't, and probably I'm the wrong person to give advice on family, because, or maybe I am the best person to give advice on family because of this, because of the fact that I didn't have it, and that I have it now, you know, and I've been able to build, you know, the family life I have. I can say a couple of things about family, but I just don't think you're stuck with family members. Pretty much like everyone in life, if they're not contributing to your well-being, if they keep taking and leaving nothing, I don't know if those are people you should be sticking around with. So it's your decision, though, because our boundary levels are different, our tolerance levels are different, our belief in family at all costs is different. For me, it's not about that. And maybe because I wasn't, and by the way, I tell my kids the same thing. They mustn't feel like they're stuck with each other purely because they're family. They must earn their right to be with each other. Long after I'm gone, I don't want them to sit there and feel responsible for someone who's not responsible for their lives purely because mama said we are family. I just don't think it's fair on others. But again, I'm saying I could not be the right person to talk about family because I didn't have it, but I've also been able to build quite a healthy family. So far so good. So yeah, I think you're bound to feel some kind of guilt, because it's not something. I think everyone wants, you know, you want family to be you know, you want that sense of family, closeness and tightness, and, you know, we love each other. But guys, let's all agree it's a lie. It's not like that. I think, okay, let me say that again. The lie is that we expect that it should be like that because you're family. And I think this is what gets a lot of us mentally, emotionally, and otherwise, because people are supposed to show up for you, don't show up for you. And you're like, how, but we are family. Or people who are supposed to love and care for you are the ones who hurt you the most. And you're like, but we're family. Then people who even give birth to you and feed you to the wolves, and you like, but we're family. So I think that the expectation that is put on families, and in fact families are the ones who harbor the most toxicity, because everybody wants to sweep it under the carpet. Sorry, Muzi, your question needs to be in the question box, friend. And you're asking a question. I'm closing now. It's been 3 hours. Okay. I think that. So yeah, I think that's my answer on this family stuff. I just think everyone needs to earn their right, you know, to be, you know, a member of. You know, can't keep abusing me and expect me to keep feeding you because you are my family. I just don't think that's fair. How do we shake off shame or disgrace? Read Baked in Pain. Ne? Get Baked in Pain, amandatambuza.com. And if you like Kindle and ebooks, you can also get it on Amazon. But amandatambuza.com, because I really think you should read my book if that's the question. Okay, no more questions, guys. I'm just gonna try and close these out. What do you do in the morning that gets you excited about your day? What's the one thing you do that makes you go, yes, it's Monday, let's go? Yes, it's Monday, let's go is wonderful, because I don't work on Mondays, so go figure. I just think that The fact that I'm alive is a reason to be grateful. It doesn't take a lot for me to be grateful, The fact that God has gifted me another day to make a difference, to live, to see my children grow, to be there for them, hold their hand when they need me, to connect with, my adult playtime partner, to, I just think that we should never take for granted the time that God has gifted us, because we all like to think we're going to live forever, but we won't. And how long you're going to live is a big mystery. So, the fact that you wake up and you're still alive, you've got health, you've got your brains to use, you've got mobility, is just such a great gift. So it doesn't take a lot for me to be grateful. I'm not a person that, let me tell you, I get about 9 to 10 hours of sleep. And when I wake up, I'm not dragging myself out of bed. I'm jumping out of bed. I don't lie in bed. I'm not a person that lies in bed. I just think my body gets sore, maybe because I sleep for so long. So I'm always just energized about life. And sometimes, energized about life doesn't mean I leave the house and go do big things. No, just the fact that I'm awake and I can say good morning to my family. I can say, you don't understand. For me, those are things that I never had. So the most basic of things that I expected in life, like family, love, good morning, how are you? I wish you well at school. Those are things that I never had. So for me, they're probably the things that make my day the most. I feel a low of balance when my husband takes my kids to school and I haven't seen them to say goodbye, because I always want them to remember, even if something happens along the day, the words that I've said to them, they are the words that they must always remember. And, and not just the words, but the love and nurture. For me, that's something I never had. So I'm able to give it to my family, and I'm deeply grateful for that. Okay, guys, we are done now. Sengizoqala ngibe ne-cheek manje, so I think you want me to go. Okay, this is the last question. Okay, maybe I'll also answer Moses' question, but I don't know. This one says, hi Amanda, hi, I hope you're good. I wanted to ask, how do you continue to maintain a good image for your brand whilst still remaining true to who you are? I hope my question makes sense. So, and it's possible my answering this question is gonna be in typical Amanda fashion. So I don't know what a good image has to do with remaining true to yourself. Like what I mean is, and I said it earlier, there's a notion that when you're being true to yourself, and I assume when you're saying being true to yourself, you mean like, I don't know, me dancing on Instagram and all of that stuff, and equating that to image. I actually think your image sucks if guys, can you please ask Uyanda to check outside? So I think Amy's mom. Quickly, please. Sorry. So I think I personally think I don't care for people who are trying to put up an image of what they're not. And I actually said it earlier, where this expectation that you are your job, you are your church, and then no, you are not fun. And if you're a mom, you have to. And are they outside? Are they outside?
I'm not sure.
Just check quickly. Thanks, babe. And yeah, so for me, in fact, I don't care what people's opinion of my brand is, because my brand is not made by people. My brand is okay. Can you please ask Amy to call her mom and just say I'm still on a call. I'm still online. Okay. Thanks, baby. And it doesn't matter how you classify it, whether it's I just think that when you know yourself, you know yourself. My brand is not it was not built by other people. People found the brand that I built and they found something they resonate with. So best believe I'll always be myself, because I don't have the ability to be anybody else, because I don't find that resonates with me. It's not something I do. So I am aware that in life there's this expectation that, because you are this, therefore you must carry yourself like that. I'll never carry myself like what anybody tells me I should carry myself. I'll carry myself the way I want to carry myself. And what is good brand, good image for my brand or anyone's brand is them being themselves and doing what they want to do. That I love. I will applaud that.
Sorry, her mom can't get in the gate because it's the other one, and she's asking what street it's on.
Okay, give me one moment. I don't want the people of the internet to know my street. Yeah, but you know it as well.
Okay.
Like my friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm closing this now. So yeah, I think in fact, I think it's a great question to close off on. If you continuously worry about what people think of your image, and I guess there's also something to be said for what is this image about exactly. But if you keep worrying about what people think of you, you'll never get anywhere, because people are always going to think something of you. So, and that something of you is completely informed by their own sense of where they are, and I think. Yanda, can you please go? Is Amy calling her mom? Okay, can you go to Daddy and ask him to help her? She doesn't know whether. Yeah, go to Daddy and ask him to help her. I'm closing the session now.
Okay, Amy.
Okay, so I think, guys, I've kind of answered this. So your image matters to you, because, by the way, by virtue of it being your image, means it's your image. And people are always going to have opinions on your image, and you can't please everyone, but the one person you can please is yourself. So stay true to yourself and do what is right for you. I sit on boards. I think some of my board members are also like, it's interesting to see Amanda dancing and then board member. But that's because people are so used to, if you're a board member, you must be the stiff auntie who wears, certain suits. I don't want to name them, but there's a certain expectation that because you are a member of, I don't know, church. I'm not, by the way, but I'm just thinking, people who are members of church, that no, you must actually behave necessarily. Do you know how many people church is about dancing, But then you have people who go to church who say, oh, other people mustn't dance online. But you dance when every time you're at church. So what's the problem? So all good?
Yeah, we're just gonna drive.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, guys, I hope I've helped. I have to get back to my family now. I hope that whatever you do, you stay true to yourself, and you don't get influenced by others on what your brand is. That's why nobody manages my brand. I manage it myself, because there's nobody that can understand my brand better than I do. And if anything, I want you to know whatever I on my official, like my account, because it's the only official account. if I post something, if I comment on something, it's me. So I can't say somebody else did it. It's me, because I want you to know it's me. I post my own stuff. I don't curate anything. I post what I want to post. So again, it's really, really important to stay true to yourself and not try to please people. You'll never please people. And by the way, the same people who criticize you are not the people that are going to come and put money on your plate. So, you know, ultimately you have to be true to who you are. So and people in your life must take you as you are. I mean, I think there's a question here, even your husband. I don't understand what that question is about, but let's assume it has something to do with the image. If your husband has a problem with your image, your husband has a problem with you. And I'm not married to someone who tries to control me. That will never happen. It didn't happen. It never would have happened. It still won't happen. This is me. You take me as I am. Why is it that we are allowed to take other people as they are, but when you are just slightly different and you go against the norm, then there's a question about, you know, what your brand and image and stuff is. So I hope that that's helpful. I don't care what people think of my image. They don't put food on my table. Not even the people that put food on my table. I don't even care what their opinion is either. So, you know, you will never please people. But I think the greatest way to please God is to be who God created you to be, and you know who that is. You know who that is. And by the way, you don't have to post who you are if that's not you. You don't have to post you know what, like if you're dancing, post dancing. No, you don't have to do that. I'm just saying, be yourself where you are. We like to think that things are real only when they're posted. No, this is everyday life. These are conversations that happen every day. Some of us just post it because we want you to flip the script. We want you to, you know, when your brain gets so confused that Amanda is a bored person, is a businesswoman, a mother, a wife, but she also dances, she has fun. Oh, she's actually quite funny too. Oh my gosh, she actually... Because somehow people think these two can't live in one person. Oh, come on, guys. Let's flip the script. There's old scripts about what women should and shouldn't be. So I hope you don't ever tolerate that kind of behavior from others. You and me, the more people tell me I can't do something or I shouldn't do something, the more I want to do it. In any event, no one ever has the kahunas to tell me what I shouldn't do. Those who try, shame, they wish they had never. By the way, let's just say goodbye. Thank you. Take good care.